Welcome back to Dynasty Dads. This week we're talking ambiguous position rooms. There's quite a few in the league. Talk about QBs, backs, wide receivers, and some tight ends. It's just this is where in fantasy a lot you'll see the most value when you get to a team where it's got two backs and no one knows who's going to be the actual guy. They're going to be further down in ADP. So you'll be able to call your shot on some of these guys. And if you hit right, then that player is going to outperform where you got them or what their value is. And then also so we're going to talk about their sleeper ADP and their keep trade cut value just to see where they're going on startups and also where the market is on these players. Also going to talk some news, and we're also going to play 17-0. We're each going to get
fun
2 turns to go. Whoever has a high score at the end of 2, then that's the winner. So
are we playing for anything?
News. Do you want to throw some cash on it?
Hell yeah. Why else are we doing this?
$20.
Done.
All right, bet.
That was
easy.
Right,
so to start the news, we're not going to talk about a whole lot here because we have a lot to get through. RJ Harvey is recovering from labrum surgery on his shoulder. I already was not a huge fan of RJ Harvey and already thought he was in an ambiguous backfield, which we will talk about today. I know you are a pretty big fan of RJ Harvey. Does this do anything for you?
I actually want to bring up, is he dead in Dynasty?
Like I've been saying for a while? Go ahead.
Not that long. I mean, you have not liked RJ Harvey at all, and some people don't like it, the way he ran, etc. The O-line was good, but much better at pass blocking than run blocking. I'm just curious, is he the third running back, or does he actually have a chance to get reps right away? What are your thoughts now?
I don't think he'll see more than 5 to 7 carries a game. He might see a couple passes his way. He was super efficient on the scoring side when he scored touchdowns, but then you add in Waddle, you add in Jolie, you bring back Dobbins, who is currently healthy, and they draft another back. So is he going to have the same opportunities to score like he did this past year? And I don't think so. So
the real question for me is, does Jonah Coleman jump him right away or not?
I hope so, because I draft a bunch of Coleman.
But is that what you actually think? Or I know you drafted him. This is a weak class, so Coleman went higher than he should have. Do you really think that's what it is? Or do you think Harvey still has a role?
He will have a role, but it won't be significant enough for fantasy. That's the route that I'm going.
Okay. I think he has a role, but if you've seen in startups, I don't take him. Everything, the surgery, Dobbins coming back. Did you hear that Jacksonville almost signed Dobbins?
That would have been crazy.
Yeah, supposedly it was like between the two, and then in the end, he's like, "Oh, I got a role here." Where there, I think I don't know if it was money or whatever, but he ended up choosing Denver, of course. So the fact that Dobbins almost didn't come back would have been crazy. I'll be honest, I don't necessarily think the talent of the running backs that they brought in, with Dobbins always being hurt and with Coleman being a rookie that wasn't Jeremiah Love in this draft, isn't bad. It's just things are starting to pile up on him. It seems like Denver wanted another back. They wanted to bring Dobbins back, and now he has his surgery. Did you get clarity? I tried to look. When was the surgery?
I didn't see when, but I saw that it was this offseason.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't 2 days ago, right? Doesn't it feel like it was earlier?
Oh, here, I'll fucking look it up.
See if you can find it, because you can find it. Great. If it was like 2 days ago, then yeah, his value is pretty much dead. If it was, February 18th, then like, oh, okay.
I'm not seeing anything when he got the surgery. Let me go to Reddit. The first comment is bro is turning 32 this season.
Who?
Harvey.
Harvey turned 32. Yeah.
Well, here's an official post. Of course, they're gonna hit you with his whole life backstory. Now, I don't see it. I'm sure we'll find out sooner than later when it was, because I had the same surgery, and I didn't have the same level of rehab that he's going to have, but I was out for a month. So if it was 2 weeks ago, it's probably going to be pushing into late July that he's going to be out. So
But what if he had it in April?
then it's probably not a problem.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't think this affects him for this season, but I already didn't like him, so I'm going to take my chance to dog on him more. So
There you go. And I'm serious. I think, to me, if he doesn't show out this year, his dynasty value is dead. If all of a
yeah, he's
sudden
going to
Dobbins
tank.
gets hurt again, which it could. I mean, here's the thing. We're talking about ambiguous backfields. What if all of a sudden, straight and coming out, they saw the touchdowns and he gets 55% of the work? Like
I'd be
that,
shocked.
that is in the realm of possibilities,
Yes, it
though.
is. It is.
And so, to me, if he gets 55, 60% of the work, all of a sudden, I mean, he goes from a not valuable fantasy option to, oh shit, this dude is definitely going to be fine,
The
and
fact,
way more valuable than where he's getting drafted. I,
yeah,
if you ask me, I have enough shares from last year. That's kind of where I'm at. And I'm
fair.
just coasting there. I'm not selling cheap, though. That's one of the big things, is like, if you had him right now, Gus, and I don't know how many shares you have, but if you had him and someone said, here is
A
a
27-second
27,
sold.
huh?
A 27-second he sold.
What about a 27 third?
Let's do a 2-3 swap.
2-3 swap. You give a third. Here, give me a second. Here's Harvey and a third.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Let's do that in every deal. Let's do that all over the place. I'm in.
All
Anywhere
right.
you got them. If I'm in your league, just send it. We'll
Let
make
me
that happen.
let me go and pull them up and see where I have them. I doubt it's many places, just because I wasn't a huge fan, but I'm sure I've got a couple.
Yeah.
Um,
Would you do Harvey for QJ straight up?
yes,
Gotcha. Interesting.
all day long.
Yeah. I don't know if I would do that.
So I have 0 shares in dad leagues. I've got them in the 4 horseman league, where it's a 4-man league with Miles, and that's my one and only share.
Okay. Well, then you can't trade him.
No.
Yeah.
So
No,
Miles, if you want to send me a second for him in that league, go right ahead, bud. But the other bit of news that came out today, going back and forth with this guy, is
my
Sorsby
God.
has applied to enter the NFL supplemental draft, and now it's real. Now we have to make a choice how we're going to handle this. And my two options that I'm going through, and I'll be posting a poll in the Discord. So if y'all want to vote, go ahead. I just want to gauge where everyone's at. Either he is going into the 27 draft class for next year, or we hold a blind auction. I will go ahead and not place any of the bids. So all the bids will be sent to me. You'll basically say, if you want to send a 27-second for them, then you lose that 27-second for next year. If you have more than 1 second, you have to tell me which one. And the value of that second will be based off of the max points for the team that had that second last year. So if that second came from the worst team in the league, well, that's the highest second. If it came from the best team in the league the last year, then it'll be the least most valuable second. If someone sends a third, a first, you're probably going to win. But I will make a spreadsheet for every single league and track all the bids. We'll probably, like, say I post it tomorrow. I'll say you have until the end of July to send me your bid. And then the 1st of August, I will announce who won him in every single league. And then go that route. And then in that spreadsheet, I will make sure that second that you bid, I take away that second next year. You have to basically draft like Drew Brees or something, and
I'll do it in
waste
every
that
league.
second.
Just give it to me now.
There you go. But that's the two routes that we're probably going to go. The easy route for me is just to say he's not in the pool this year. You got to wait for 2027. But if the people want him now, say he goes to the Cardinals or the Jets or the Browns because they just collect QBs, or if he goes somewhere where he has a chance to start this year, then people are going to want him, and I think people are probably going to spend a second round pick on him. I don't think anyone's going to send a first. Maybe we'll see. I don't want to influence the bids here, but I would be shocked to see a first round bid on him. But
what about and you said they could send 27 or 28. So if someone says 28 first, where does that rank in the 27 second realm?
So I would probably put it like if you want to send a 28 first, it's equivalent of a 27 second. So just a round prior, well, a round behind that pick. I mean, I'll probably have to look and see what would be the best way to do it, but that's the first thing that comes to mind. If you want to bid a 28 pick, then it's going to be valued as a round prior.
But where in that round? In other words, would it be max points for that player, for that team?
Yeah, I'd probably still go with the max points from the previous year because it's just showing, okay, which is the worst team. Not to say that people can't turn around in one season, but if you're sending a 28 first for Sorsby and it's a high first, then you're probably not doing too well.
But you see what I'm saying? In other words, if that was that had the 101 this year and it's a 28 first, does that mean that's equivalent to the 201 in 27? Yeah. And if there's a draw, which way do you go? 27 second just because the year's earlier, or are you saying 28? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if he traded his own 27 away and I have it, and this other guy has his 28 first, or he has his own 28 first, and we both say, I want to give up the 27 first, which would be the 201 based on this ruling, and he's want to give up his 27 second for me, and you give up the 28 first. So they kind of even out. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. I'll probably default to the higher year to 27 as a tiebreaker.
Gotcha. In other words, it's right behind that pick. So in other words, 27, 201, 28 first rounder, 27, 202, 28 first rounder of the 202 player.
Yep.
Got
it. Yep. All right. Let's get into the game.
All right.
Colin has not played this game. I did show him how to play it before we started. I've been playing the shit out of this game, so good luck to you, Colin. I will let you go first.
So, I get to go first? All right.
Yeah.
So I just did roll, right?
Yeah. Roll. Ooh.
God,
2002 Cardinals. That's a horrible one.
What is that? So, that is trash. Can you re-roll the year?
Is that what you want? Year?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, that is.
It wasn't much better. So Fitz.
Blows.
Michael Floyd.
Give me Larry Fitzgerald in a wide receiver spot. Sure. Yikes.
Ooh, Josh Allen as your QB.
Yeah, give it to me.
Easy now. Oh, and just let you know, if you do roll, there is a possibility that it will give you the same pick again. So if you roll the year and it's like 2002, it could give you back the same year, which is infuriating. But 2024 Denver.
Oh, give me Cortland Sutton, wide receiver.
All right.
This team isn't that good.
No. AJ Green
Gordon would have been a stud. Let me get
Tyler. You can go the tight end,
or another flex. Let me jump in on the tight end because 14.7 for a tight end looks pretty good.
Yeah, and just to be clear, we're gonna take up the two scores that you get and the two scores that I get and combine them, and whoever has the higher score. That's
what we're doing. I thought we were just taking whoever gets the highest. Oh, the rules have changed.
Just to give you a chance to catch up if you have a bad round,
Whatever.
Trying to do you a favor off this one. Oh, good Lord. Ray Rice, the GOAT.
Change the team. What is this trash?
Oh, this is a bad one. Calvin Johnson, 21
Yes,
points.
in my flex. Thank you very much, Calvin.
All right. Atlanta 2022. Ooh, Cordero as your RB.
Yep. I guess that has to happen.
All right.
It's
And your
good.
last one's going to
Be
be
a
an
good year.
RB.
Yes.
Oh,
Curtis
no, it's not.
survived. It's not
It's
great, but it's
11 points.
good enough. 9-8,
right.
winning team.
Dog shit team.
Dude, straight up.
106.8.
That sucked.
Yes, it did.
That the Andy Dalton was the best quarterback I got. That sucked altogether. No one's good.
I'm sorry. That
Yeah,
was a bad one. I've had ones that are like 2 and 15, like just fucking horrible.
That's pretty funny.
106.8. All right, I'll go. Give me something juicy. Roddy White. Yes, sir. Tampa Bay. We're done.
Not bad.
I'm gonna take the layup with the easy one for the RB Atlanta. Ooh, Bijan didn't have a good year. 2023, I'm gonna re-roll the team for 2023. Hopefully I get something better. Arizona. Kyler
Or
as my
Connor.
QB or Connor. I've already got a back. I'll go ahead and take the QB. Minnesota.
AP.
Adrian Peters.
You would have had
go.
the better. There you go. All right. That works out.
Atlanta. Oh, it gave me the same one again.
Oh, did it?
Oh.
Yeah, change the
All
year.
right. But I kind of want to save it for a tight end, though.
I mean, Kyle Pitts is going to.
Fuck it. Tony Gonzalez. Let's go. Oh, I'm taking the tight end for 14.6 points. I guess I should probably say this for the people that aren't watching. Houston 2018, DeAndre Hopkins 20.
You're getting all these studs. I didn't get a guy over like 16 points.
Colts 2007, Reggie Wayne as my flex.
What is this trash? Did your team go undefeated? No. 124. So I got to beat 124.
Oof. Yeah. If you don't beat, it could happen where
it's going to be 124, and then you get another chance.
Yep. Rams 2014. Oh my goodness, you are just getting absolutely shit on.
What is trash? Sub the team, I guess. I don't even know. Wait, no. Do year, because the Rams usually have high scoring people.
Yeah, they've got some studs like Torrey Holt. They got Cup. Yeah. They have Falk. So I would roll the year. 2005. That's
Torrey Holt.
Falk. Oh,
yep. Thank you, Torrey Holt. Thank you. Yeah, one of the wide receivers. Las Vegas of 2024.
Hours.
Oh yeah, give me the tight end. That's pretty good. He's higher scoring than a lot of the other tight ends.
Vegas 2024, Brock Bowers 15.5. There are some like Gronk years that are fucking nuts.
Or Jimmy Graham from the Saints back then. Okay.
Yep. All right. Your next roll is the Giants 2020. Ooh.
Oh, that is awful. Switch the team. I mean, I can't even choose these people. I'm not even getting 124 points.
KC, Patrick Mahomes 24 points.
Thank you. Or do I take
Kelsey at 20 points?
Well, if I didn't take a tight end, damn. Give me Mahomes 24.6. Let's see if I can just ride the high.
All right. This is a solid team so far.
Sean Alexander.
Seahawks.
Oh, Daryl Jackson. Alexander wasn't as good as I thought. Give me Daryl Jackson. 14.2. We can do better than that. Give me the wide receiver. Daryl Jackson, 16.8. Don't forget, I have to beat you, so I have to get high.
Vikings 2021.
Randy.
2001.
Thank you, Randy Moss, for being my flex.
Oh, now you're down to your two backs.
Oh, this is going to be great. Be good.
Oh, Jets. Oh.
Brees Hall 13. Could be worse. We'll take Brees Hall for 13.
Jets 2025. Brees Hall at 13.
That could be a lot worse. It's not. I need a good AP or something. Oh, yeah.
Derrick Henry.
Henry, baby. See, I knew
Titans
it was
2022.
Did I beat your 124 point whatever?
Yes, you did.
Yes. All right. So you have to beat that 126.4.
No, we are taking the two scores combined.
Oh, I thought we were just choosing. We each get 2 chances. Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah,
Here you
and
go.
then we
Let's
add
see.
the two.
Jesus, what is this trash? You making up the rules after you might have
126.4.
lost.
So I have to get at least 114 to tie you.
Okay. Guys from
Should
at
be hard.
home scored a lot.
Oh, yeah. So the
Ooh,
Panthers,
that's good.
2006,
Steve Smith.
Steve Smith.
Nice.
Jacksonville, 2025, Trevor Lawrence, 19.7. I'll take that.
That's not too bad, but that doesn't seem great. Ooh, that's not good.
Vikings 2017. They do have some nasty other years. 15 points isn't horrible, and I'm on
But you got to
track.
beat me. I would change the year because you have a chance to get AP or like
And
Randy Moss.
Moss, Culpepper,
Let's
like,
see. Do the year. What does it say?
Bucket, 2025.
Ooh, that's not good.
Ooh, that's not good. I'm gonna use my
You have
last
to use them
spin
both.
on the
Otherwise,
team.
that's like a guarantee loss. 25.
Oh my god. Okay, Cam Scatterboo.
There
Okay,
you go. At 16. That's not too bad.
all right. That's a minor upgrade from 15 to 16 points to
But you have
burn
no more
both
transfers
my
or
rolls.
exchanges.
Green
Green
Bay,
Bay that year
2024.
sucked.
Josh
Oh, you got
Jacobs,
lucky.
17.9. Kiss my ass. All right. Arizona, 2011. Larry Fitz as my wide receiver 2. It's 16.8.
You need a tight end, man.
Yeah, no. And you can get absolutely fucked on tight ends. Roll.
You got to choose one. Oh, that's Jimmy Graham, huh? No, it is
Yes.
50. I told you. New Orleans in 2012. Dude, we scored a lot of points, and Jimmy Graham had 15.8. Nice.
So 2012 Saints, Jimmy Graham, 15.8. And my last flex can be a tight end, back, or receiver. I just need something good. Don't give me the Jets. All right. Calvin Johnson, that should put me above.
Should.
119.
There you go. You didn't get my
119.
high, but you did beat me on the total.
119
Interesting.
on the dot. Do I need to do the math for you?
No, like if we're doing total, you won. If we're doing just the highest, I beat you by 2.
Well, we were doing the total, so I'm sorry.
Okay. Making shit up, Gus. That's all right. That's all right.
I said it like as you're doing your
No
first one.
way.
Get the
After I
fuck
was
outta
halfway
here.
through and getting
Get
dick
the
slapped
fuck out of
by
here.
shitty teams. But
All
we're
right.
good. That's kind of
All
fun.
right.
I understand why people do it.
Yeah, and to get 17-0 is absolutely electric. I mean,
Have you
you
gotten
gotta
it?
score like you have to get like a 145 plus or like a 150 plus points.
I had
So
126
every
and was
slot,
15-2. So it might not be that high. It might only be like 140.
I've played a lot of games. It is like
Okay.
145 plus. Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay. You know
Yeah.
better than me. I've been,
All
some
right.
work
So,
around here.
hey, I work more than anybody else. I can promise you that much.
Exactly.
I actually start a new job at the start of next month, and I'll be working even more. So,
Oh,
well.
yeah?
Oh yeah.
Have you told this current job or not yet?
Oh yeah. And they wouldn't let me walk because they need me too bad. So,
Gotcha. Yeah. Which a lot of people do. Hey, we need you to help transfer. I get it. Anyway, let's get into the ambiguous positions.
So first up, we're doing QBs. There's not that many, but there's at least some to talk about because in fantasy, a lot of times you'll have more than one QB start, especially if there's not a clear-cut starter. Like at this point in the season, like if it's kind of up in the air, then there's a good chance that both are going to play at some point because that team is going to be bad and they're probably going to see both of them. So it's basically which one do you want? Which one do you want to bet on, and what's their current value? So first up is the Cardinals. You wanted to throw in who?
Gardner Minshew.
I don't give a shit. All right.
With Brissett not playing, not practicing, Beck being a rookie, which I don't think they'll trust. I think Minshew's got the job. And I know you completely disagree, and he's not even on the list. But I kind of feel like he might be the starter right out of week 1, unless Brissett and the Cardinals come up with an agreement.
All right, let me find him on Keep Trade Cut just because you want to talk about him. He is currently a QB 59, so
Perfect.
he's
There
free.
you go.
He's free, guys.
He's got free
He's
99. Yeah, especially in a best ball league, like if you could add him in a 40-man
oh
deep
yeah,
league or something like that, I think he's fine.
yeah. There should be no QBs on waivers in a best ball league.
No.
But the two that I put on here was Jacoby Brissett and Carson Beck. Jacoby Brissett currently on Sleeper. His ADP is 32. His keep trade cut value is 33. So kind of right in that same range. He's currently supposed to be the starting QB. I assume before camp starts, they're going to give him like a $5 million bonus to play
Yeah,
the
that's
year, and he's there.
I I
But
I I
stay
think I think in the next 2 weeks, like, so let's say the week of July 4th is probably when the deadline is. I think they give him 3.5 mil, so maybe not even 5, and he just says, "Okay, let's just do this," you
yeah.
know?
And then if he doesn't and he doesn't want to be the starter, if you don't want to go play this great game, at the ripe old age of, I don't know, 45, then, it'll probably be Beck. That's the way I see it. I mean, you have a rookie. Why not see what you have? He was going in like third, fourth rounds of our drafts. Go ahead.
I the reason I don't like Beck is the team needs to find out what they have from Marv, and they need to find out what they have from Michael Wilson. Otherwise, are they just paying him off of questionable years? For me, they need to find out, and Minshew is able to give him a better look than Beck, in my opinion.
I
That's
think we
why I
all
think
hope that it's Jacoby Brissett just for
yeah,
fantasy because Trey McBride is going to be very good. Hopefully, Marv can do something, and
right.
Michael Wilson is going to be Jerry Rice this year. I mean, he's going to finish as a top 5 receiver if it's Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
But if it's Beck, he's currently QB 41 on Sleeper, and Keep Trade Cut, he's 40. So right there together, the market lines up where he's being drafted. I, didn't he have a shoulder injury in college? That yeah, so like his arm hasn't looked the same since that, but he was still a highly touted player before that happened. Um, I just don't see why you wouldn't at least see what you have. They spent what, a second or third round pick on him? Was it a second or third?
I
I
thought it
think
was
it
a
was.
3rd or 4th,
Yeah,
like, it
it
wasn't
might
a
it
2nd.
might have been a fourth, but
Yeah,
still,
it was later.
like
And I think
I,
did he hurt his elbow? It might have been his elbow. Anyway, but it's been a couple years because it wasn't this year. It was the year
yeah.
before
And
while he was at Georgia.
I for fantasy, 100%. Please be Jacoby. But if it's not, Gardner can. We've seen Gardner. We know what he can do. Beck, I would still like to see. And if Jacoby's not there to start the season, then I think we'll still see Beck at some point this season. So
For how bad the team's supposed to be, which I actually don't know if they will be that bad. This is a personal take. The reason I don't know if they'll be that bad is if Brissett starts, the offense can move the ball. And don't forget the defense, 10 of their 11 starters were on IR by week like 6. It was something stupid. So what if all those starters come back? Sweat is still there. Will Johnson, the stud cornerback, comes back. Well, maybe it won't be good, but it could be middle of the road, and they might win a couple more games than you think. I know the division is hard, but just to me, I think if the defense comes back healthy, the team could be serviceable. I'm not saying good. Like I'm not even talking 8 and 9. I'm saying they can find a way to win 5 games,
yeah,
and which kills their
it shouldn't be that
hope at
hard
a
to
new
do.
quarterback, but it could be good because if that's the case, they also get to find out what the receivers are, right? So,
Yeah.
but we talked about the Cardinals room enough. I'll go to the next one. The next one you have on the list is the Falcons. Tua, sleeper 29, keep trade cut 30, Penix, sleeper 30, keep trade 9, 29. So they're pretty much back to back, one way or the other. My opinion on it, I think Tua starts the year, and depending how it goes, Tua continues to play or he gets subbed out. I just think Penix's knee and injury is at the point where he won't start week 1.
So which one would you rather have right now going into the season? Would it be Tua or Penix?
Tua, because I think he's healthy.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Penix. I'm pretty sure they're like almost the same age, which is crazy. But but actually I can see it right here.
Tua's like a year and a half older.
Just barely, probably. I mean, they're both going into their 40s.
The 40s, yeah. That's what based on some injuries, that's what it
Oh,
seems like.
wow. So Penix is 29. No, I mean 26, and Tua is 28. So yeah, they're 2 years
I
apart.
think it's a year and a half, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
but it almost
we've
doesn't matter.
seen we've seen Tua be a top QB for fantasy as far as yards and touchdowns. He's got the weapons. So you have Drake London, Pitts, and Bijan, and whoever else you want to throw into that second wide receiver slot. I don't think it matters. But we have seen him be that high. We've seen him be able to supply enough fantasy for multiple weapons. Penix has too, but it's been very up and down this past year. And now you're throwing in the injury, a guy that's already had multiple ACLs. It's just not a player that I want to buy into. If you believe in him, then now's the time to buy into him because he's
Yeah.
super cheap. But he could fall off the face of the earth after the end of the season.
My issue is I wasn't a Penix fan coming in. He had a really good O-line at Washington when he showed up. He had 3 receivers that got drafted. He doesn't run, so he really has no upside, and now he's injured. And so all these things are so negative for him going into this season. If you like him, go get him because he's very cheap. If you don't, I think there's a 50-50 chance that the Falcons could fall flat on their face, go 4-13, which as a Saints fan, I would love. And then, of course, they're drafting another rookie quarterback. I could see that happening again. Just botching the whole system, failing Bijan and London and Pitts all at the same time. So
Man, I would be super upset because I have a lot of Drake London Pitts and I have a few shares of Bijan. And if that came crashing down, that would be
what
heartbreaking.
what if they both struggle, both suck? Could they be the team that get Mac Jones next year?
If they got Mac Jones, I would be more excited than I am right now with Tua and Penix.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm not
But
that big of a Mac
if,
Jones fan, but like I get it. I'm just not excited about any of them. All 3 of those guys.
yeah,
So
I like that Mac Jones has been with the Niners. That's where Sam Darnold said that the switch flipped for him. And when Mac Jones played this past year, he looked better. I mean, he looked like someone that could run an offense. And funny enough, it's been said before, but Kyle Shanahan said that that's the QB that he wanted to take instead of Trey Lance. But
yeah.
I I think Mac Jones could have a resurgence like Baker Mayfield or something of that sort. The problem is all the teams that are bad that need QBs are going to be at the top of the list next year with a bunch of QBs that are going to
Pittsburgh.
come out. Yeah, like great fit for him.
I'm just saying teams that probably are at least close to 500
That's
that
fair.
might look at QB, and Pittsburgh and Atlanta would be the 2 where they wouldn't draft a rookie, but they'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
So
All right, let's go on to the next one. It's the Vikings. I don't think this is. Most people think it's going to be Kyler, and I would be shocked if it's not Kyler. Kyler is currently the sleeper QB 23, keep straight cut 24. JJ is 31 on both, and I don't know anyone that's trading for JJ right now. I don't know how he's 31. Maybe because there's still some hope that he might start the year. But if he does, are you excited about it? No. Are you excited for the wide receivers or the tight ends or pretty much that whole offense? If it's JJ, everyone wants to see Kyler. I hope the team at least, has some self-awareness to know that Kyler gives them the best chance to win games, and it's not JJ McCarthy. I'm
my,
not going to spend too much time on that, but that's just where I'm at. Please,
well,
please.
what I think we need to discuss is if Kyler does okay at least the first 6 to 8 weeks, even if the team's only 500, 4-4, 4-5, 5-4, something like that, because of issues, tough schedule. They play the NFC North, etc. Could Kyler be a top 12 option if he shows out? Like
Oh
at the end
yes,
of the year,
absolutely.
we're talking February of next year. Could he all of a sudden have that kind of value back?
I don't know about a top 12 QB, but I would assume that he's probably around the I don't know, 13 to 16 range. I don't there's so many young QBs, and then you also add in all the guys that are gonna be drafted pretty highly next year, and those guys usually get slotted in around QB 12 to QB 20, so you're adding, 3 to 5 more QBs into the mix. I would rather have one of the young QBs over Kyler, but if you're a contender, would you send a 27 first for him?
Right now,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Okay. And I don't think that like I have a good amount of Kyler. And if people came to me and offered a 27 first, I think it'd be hard to send Kyler away knowing that he could end up being a top 12 guy this year.
Yeah, and that's what I'm really saying is we saw the Vikings mess up before and let a good quarterback go, right? I don't think they're willing to do that again. And so they'll probably pay him on a nice 4 or 5-year deal. So we can
Like
get the stability that he's gonna be their starter if he does
he's
well.
made he's made a good amount of money. I mean, if he does well this year, then maybe like a Daniel Jones like type contract, 3 years, 100 mil, somewhere in that range. Uh, I'd be shocked if it's a whole lot more than that. But I mean, how old is he? He's 20. He'll be 29 this year. So it's not like he's a spring chicken, and the superpower that he has is the rushing upside, which he could easily hit 4 or 500 yards on the ground, which is his superpower, at least for fantasy.
Right.
I just I would give up a second in a heartbeat to
Yeah.
go get him. I don't know if I would send it first, and I don't know if I would take it first. So it's kind of right there on that line. It depends on what my team looks like. If I see myself as a top 16 this year, then I would probably prefer Kyler. But it's probably a smart move to bet against Kyler that has not been good in the past 3 years.
I will say this, we talked about it in the startup episode last week. I have Kyler in a lot of startups this year because you're able to get him late because I think he has upside that can move him up.
Oh yeah,
And because of the way I play, if he ends up sucking and turning into Fields, guess what? It wasn't that early of a pick.
yeah.
And I'll have enough options
What is
to
he
make
like?
those movements.
Like success, 7th, 8th round ish range.
I kept getting him in the seventh.
Okay, fair
Seventh round
enough.
of startup. Yep.
All right. Do you want to talk about the two Pro Bowl QBs that the
I
Browns
love
have?
it. Yeah. I'll bring that up. This is the Cleveland Browns. Sanders is QB on Sleeper 33, Keep Trade Cut 32. Watson is 46 on Sleeper and 38 on Keep Trade Cut. With all the news right now, I think that should be flipped. It sounds like Watson they're giving the job to, or they want Watson to win it, just based on all the news you hear coming out. I've talked about this. I like Sanders, but before the draft, after the draft, I think he's an accurate quarterback in a shitty situation. I think his name killed his value. The off the field stuff really hurt him. If it was Joe Blow instead, I think he goes earlier than the fifth. Um, but he's accurate and he won a couple games last year. Does he look lost at times? Yes. I think Watson has the job, so those numbers should be flipped, in my opinion. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I would definitely draft Joe Blow higher than the 5th round. Just just name value alone, that's fucking killer. But uh, I'm on the same page with you. I think Watson does start the year, but I'm not throwing it out there that we're probably gonna see both guys this year at some point if Watson just looks so fucking bad or gets hurt because he's had 2 Achilles in the past 2 years. If he comes out and looks horrible, then Sanders could probably start a large chunk of the season. And then they're just playing for the next year. I mean, they've already traded away Miles Garrett. They got picks for and next year. Go get your QB next year. Now the problem is they have a lot of weapons. They have Fannin, they have Boston, they have KC, they have Judkins. You know, are you worried about those pieces with so much and so much so much talk about this not being a great passing game? Are you concerned?
I'm more concerned of the O line. The fact that they pretty much had to redo it all.
Yeah.
I think one ended up coming back. I think that's the problem. That's the worry. And let's be realistic. They got the pieces this year. So maybe next offseason is when they build the O-line, which means that offense could really struggle this year. Am I worried about the pieces? So many of the ones I like are young. I mean, you can't be worried about Fannin when he's 23, right? Isn't Fannin 23 right now? I mean,
He might be 22 because
yeah,
he
but
was
you know what I'm
drafted at
saying? At
yeah
most 23, right? Then Casey Concepcion,
21.9.
there you go. Concepcion, young. Um,
Boston.
Judkins is
Yeah.
younger, right? Then you got Boston, who is young. So the idea that these guys are young doesn't worry me. If you were interested in a resurgence from Jerry Jeudy, I'd be petrified. Yes, but that's not a guy I have. You know how many leagues I'm in. I don't think I have Jeudy in any of them. Maybe I took him over in an orphan in one or two, but he's not a guy I'm interested in having, and it could kill him, his
Yeah.
value. Truly, it's the Browns. Their defense got a little worse. Maybe they'll throw a little more. I think it's up to them. I think it'd be smart if they just maybe start Watson 3-4 games, see where they're at, then start Sanders, see what they have there, and let Sanders run it out because he's young, youthful, later pick. Give him a shot. If he's accurate, we could see something. I think Sanders gives the best idea of what we can see from an offense more than Watson. I think Watson can win more games because he's a veteran, used to be athletic, but we didn't really see it in Cleveland, so who knows?
The question is, which one of these guys do you see that there's a value where they could potentially gain in value next year or going into next year? And it's hard to see either one of these guys because Watson, he's gonna be there for a while, just due to his contract.
Is he? I thought
It's
Watkins' deal is done.
no, he's got. Think he's tied to like 2030.
No. I thought it's much sooner than that.
All right, do you want to bet on it?
Yeah, because this is like his fifth year of
uh,
this deal.
what the fuck is wrong with Spotrac? Spotrac right now is having a stroke.
They're like, don't even look up Watson; it doesn't exist.
No, it's got a error message for 425. That's weird.
Let me see if I can
Let
look
me
it
go
up quickly.
somewhere else. So
Oh, good.
his he's there for 26. His cap number for 27 is 36 mil. His cap number for 28 is 51 mil. And then the dead money in 29 and 30 is 25 and 9 mil. So he's like his contract goes through 2028, 2030 because they have restructured his deal to try and save money. But his dead cap,
No, this is his last year on the team.
no, that's not what I'm seeing.
Yeah, every 27, 28, 29, and 30 are all void years. If I'm seeing it right. In other words, they restructured to get it where he's still on the team. I just know the Saints are doing it a lot too, where they're automatic void years after this season, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Oh, he is slated to become an unrestricted free agent in 2027.
Yeah, next year. That's what I'm
So,
saying. So
whew,
there's no long-term value. It's all void. Yeah.
yeah. So where does he go? After that, like, does he do well enough this year to get a starting job next year? I don't see a world where that happens.
What? I mean, if you ask me what happens, he'll be lucky to be a backup somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. Does Marcus Mariota not show up, end of his deal, and he goes to backup at Jaden Daniels? Maybe.
Yeah. What about for Sanders? What does it look like next year? Because if they have a top pick, they're going to take a QB again.
Oh, I think either Sanders shows up and performs and wins games to get them to not take a top pick, which is going to be harder, or he's the backup there for 1 year, and then who knows what journeyman role he'll have, right?
All right. think that's enough on the Browns
Yes,
QBs that no one's excited for.
100% agree with you.
Let's go to another team where people are excited for the QBs. The Jets, Geno Smith and Cade Klubnik. Just wanted to throw these in here because this team is probably going to be bad this year. And we'll probably end up seeing both guys. Maybe I'm hoping to see some Cade, but Gino right now is 36 on both sleeper and keep trade cut. Cade is 47 on sleeper and 44 on keep trade cut. After this year, I don't think either one of these guys has value. I don't think they're going to be anything past this year. I don't think I'm going to spend a whole lot of time on it.
The only thing I will say is if you have players on the Jets in Dynasty like Garrett Wilson, the rookies are tougher, but let's say Garrett Wilson, maybe Adonai Mitchell, and Breece Hall, I think this offense is actually going to score some points. The offensive line is much better than people think. I think they actually could be quite good. They have some weapons on the outside. I think they'll be able to move the ball. I just don't know if they can stop anyone on defense, which means they'll still lose a lot of games, but I truly think offensively they'll move the ball and score points.
Please.
Maybe this is a personal take, and who knows, like, I just think they might be scoring a lot of points and then losing games, 24-31, stuff like that. Does that make sense? Instead of, we usually see bad teams really struggling. I could see them scoring points. The O-line's pretty good. They have some rookies that can play. They have Garrett Wilson. Geno's a veteran that can sling it around, and Breece Hall's good. I just think they have the team around it to score with no defense.
Yeah, this team on the offense side of the ball will go as far as the QB will take them. I mean, if Geno can just go out there and just not be dog shit, then this team will put up 20-something points a game, and that'll be great because that's an improvement. But if it goes bad, it's going to be bad for everybody. And I
think offensively they'll be the scoring. What sucks for me about this team is it could go well and they still go, like, they could be averaging 22 points plus a game. I'm talking reasonable range, and still go 2-6, 2-7, and then switch it over to Klubnik for the end of the year, and then immediately everything tanks. And so all the value at the end of the season for all their players goes to shit.
Yeah.
Like, I could see that happening. And then they
and if you're trying to rebuild throughout the year and they do make that switch, that's probably the time to go buy the pieces to that offense, because once the season comes to an end, people are going to be hyped for those players because they're going to be getting a new QB. So there'll be like a little dip.
Love it
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Buy the dip, sell on another high team, be excited. Yes.
Yeah. But for the QBs, Geno, you'll be happy if he's your QB 3-4-ish. I wouldn't want to start him every week. Probably 4, closer to 4. But he's someone that is going to have some value for a team that's trying to win this year, just to have a fill-in.
I think he's fine as your QB3. I mean, you can't be reaching. You can't be that deep at quarterback unless all you've taken is quarterback, and maybe one of them was Mendoza, right? So to me,
unless you're in that startup that we just reviewed, and that's the 33, where Double Tap took 4 QBs the very start of the draft. So like he could be his QB5,
Yeah. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, as a QB3, I think he's fine, especially if your QBs have earlier buys.
Yeah. RBs, let's go. How about you take your RB3?
My RB3, correct. So we'll start with the Cardinals again, because we should. Jeremiah Love is ranked on Sleeper RB4. Keep Trade Cut has him as RB4. Trey Benson, Sleeper, has him 42. Keep Trade Cut has him 60. Tyler Algier, 31 on Sleeper, 45 on Keep Trade Cut. And James Conner, 58 on Sleeper, 79 on Keep Trade Cut. I mean, if you ask me, I think they want to show off Jeremiah Love. The owner wanted him on the team. I don't think he's going to get run into the ground, but I do think he's going to be used and will be their starter. Benson is neither healthy. We'll see if he does it. And Algier will really be the train to pace guy. I think Love probably has a season similar to Genty last year, if not a little better. Because
That's
don't forget,
bold.
people were disappointing with Genty until the last like 1 or 2 games when he had 2 touchdowns, right? And so I think Love will show up. Part of that is it, and we discussed it just a second ago, is I think the Cardinals have a better O-line than the Raiders did last year. I mean, that's not saying much because the Raiders were awful, right? So I truly believe that. And the Cardinals have better weapons around him. Like, you can't say the difference between Trey McBride and Brock Bowers is much. And then to me, Wilson and Marv were much better than, I guess, Jacoby Myers for half a year and Trey Tucker. I just think the weapons are better and the O-line's a little better. So you can't necessarily just stack the box against Love.
And you're also saying that there's more players that can touch the ball, that can do more with it than Love. So I hear what you're saying. Yeah. So Love is gonna. I'm just messing with you. I do think Love is probably gonna have what people are expecting comparatively a down year, just
Yeah.
because they're. We just talked about the QBs. Like they were the first ones that we talked about. If it's Minshew or Beck, this offense is not going to be the same. So you are really banking on Jacoby to lead this offense. Um, I do think the order goes, I would say Love, Algier, Connor, Benson, and in the category of touches. This year, probably Love will get most of the passing work. Algier will get most of the between the 20s and possibly most of the goal line work. Connor will still be on the field. This guy's a captain. He's been on the team for a long time. He's someone that this team loves. He's going to be involved, and I wouldn't be shocked if Trey Benson's traded at some point this offseason, just to get him off the team.
Why
So
why wouldn't Connor be traded?
why would they rework his contract before he's back for one more season?
Because a team like Green Bay, if Jacobs has issues or if someone gets an injury, he's the
Please
perfect
don't
veteran to
trade.
come. Huh?
Please don't trade for Connor.
Why
Please.
not?
I don't think he's someone that's going to move the needle for a team if they trade for him. I would think that they would rather trade for Benson. That's the younger, more explosive guy.
I,
Um,
I don't disagree, but I'm assuming if you trade for Connor, it's more like either dollars straight up or like a 7th rounder. You know what I'm saying? Or a 6-7
yeah,
swap. Like, I'm talking practically nothing, right? But if you feel Connor can come in and give you that veteran presence where you have other good change of paces and you need a little size just to kind of run downhill, Connor makes sense. I'm with you. I don't really want to trade for him, but I just think there could be that option. And I also agree,
yeah,
if you want a little more youth, who cares how often he gets injured? Benson's not a bad option either,
yeah.
So
So trying to find value in this backfield going into the season. Love is so expensive. I think Algier is left for dead when I think he's going to be the second backup. They paid him to come there. I think he's still going to be used quite a bit, probably more than what most people that have Love want. I think he's probably going to see anywhere from 7 to 10 carries a game, you know, somewhere in that range. Love will probably be in that same range, but get most of the passing work. So I really think it's going to be split mostly between those two guys. Benson won't see the field pretty much ever, and Connor will come in from time to time. It's just so I
yeah.
think Algier is really left for dead, and I wouldn't mind having Algier, especially if something happened to Love. I think Algier would be the next man up. And then if you're in a best ball league, I would be shocked if Algier scores, 7 to 10 touchdowns this year, just because of the role that he's going to play.
I don't think that has a chance, but I
That's
I
why Love is your RB3. I get it.
Love is my RB3 because I think next year I think going into rookie draft, season long dynasty startups in 2028, Love could be the RB1. That's where I'm at.
Possibly.
2028, right? because people are older, Bijan's older. Love will be 23. Bijan, I think, will be 27, and Gibbs will be 27 or
Yeah.
26, 27 as running backs. And so the age difference will be there. Genty could be right there with them, right? But anyway, that's where the value is future from here, in my opinion. It's not this year. I think you'll be fine. I don't think Love is winning you a league. I mean, could he do what Genty did, which is get 150 yards and 2 touchdowns in one of those last week games? Yes. Every running back could, especially if they're getting touches, but I'm not really planning on that. Let's
All
move
right.
on to the Panthers now.
All
This is
right. So
this is we got to talk about. Yeah.
yeah, your guy, uh, Trevor Achan is your favorite out of this backfield. Sleeper 81, keep trade cut 69. Nice. Chuba is at 31 on sleeper 30. He's at 30 on sleeper 31 on keep trade cut. Brooks, who's been getting a lot of hype over the past month, sleeper 41, keep trade cut 32. So they're back to back on keep trade cut. Which one would you rather have at cost on sleeper, Chuba or Brooks?
Uh, we just did the last 2 startups and they literally went back to back. I think by August in redraft leagues, Brooks is going ahead of Chuba.
I'm right there with you.
I would then much prefer the value of Chuba.
So right now it's Brooks, but in a month or two it's going to be Chuba, who
Just
you would prefer at cost.
I just feel I kind of don't like either of them. I think people are not taking into all the injuries to Brooks. I don't know. We haven't seen it. He missed a whole year. Like what's it all like? It's a running back, but he had back to back pretty much. I My biggest issue is if you're excited about Chuba or Brooks in Dynasty, is this not one of those teams just set up perfectly to take one of the top 6 backs in next year's draft and take all these
I
dudes and
mean,
tell suck it? Like, am I missing something?
Brooks could have a good year and then they decide not to take one. How old do you think Brooks is right this minute?
He was so young coming out. He might have been 20 and a
Mm-hmm.
half.
Mm-hmm.
I think he might be 24 now, 23 and a half.
He is 22.9.
22.9. Gotcha.
So
But
he's still fairly young. Fairly young.
the age says young, the knees say no, right?
That's fair.
I
That's
mean,
fair.
so to me, it all comes to if Brooks doesn't look great, Chuba's splitting time with him. They all look like a committee. It looks like the offense is okay. Bryce Young isn't great. Could they easily take one of those top 6 backs next year, and then all this
Yeah,
value that people are starting to look into Brooks is just gone?
that's fair.
That's what scares me. If you ask me what worries me in Dynasty, it's that.
Yeah, I wouldn't send a second for either one of these guys. So
No way. Not to
yeah,
me. And now part of the problem is if I don't have much or any Brooks because I just didn't want to deal with the injury and all that stuff. And I have some Chuba because he was usable at points last year. Those are more win now teams. I'm still fine holding on. I can't invest more into the backfield right now because if someone has Brooks, you got to pay. It's at least a second. It's probably second and a third, if not more. Like people are going. This is the guy that as soon as he has one good run, August 3rd in their first preseason game, he's a top 24 back in startups. It's like I don't know why he's got the helium, but he does.
all right, that's fair. All right, how about you take the Bears?
Okay. So moving on to the Bears with Swift and Monangai. Swift is sleeper 25, keep trade cut 25. Monangai is sleeper 26, keep trade cut 26. What does it tell me? It tells me people saw the split last year. Swift played well last year.
Mm-hmm.
Monangai played pretty well too. I like having both. I prefer probably Swift. I just think he got more of the important and fantasy value touches as much as Monangai was fun and a rookie. this is another backfield I'm worried about next year,
Yeah.
where this team looks like they built a defense. They got all the weapons on the outside. They got Caleb. The O-line's coming together. Yes, they lost their center, but everything else is coming together. And what if they get I don't know, late first round, early second round, mid second round running back next year that they love? We talked the episode, Kawan Lacey, the guy from Missouri,
Yeah.
party that got, shot. Like, what happens if Blau um, from
That's
Florida?
my
What
guy.
happens if one of these guys gets drafted here? I mean, the steam and smoke is going to be the same way, and this team is probably set up for it well. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, and then all of a sudden he's the back that they're going to have for 3 years behind this whole offense with Caleb and the receiving weapons. I mean, he's going to get drafted in the top 12 of startups, probably, whoever that running back is. It's like that's where the smoke's going.
Yeah. I'm on the same page with you. I think this is the last year of these two guys having at least startable value for Dynasty. Um, Going into 2027 and 2028, they're going to be at best a backup or a rotational player. Swift, but for this year, I'm on the same page with you. I would rather have Swift. He's been a RB2 every single year of his career. So if you can get a RB2, which is where right where he's being drafted, it's right on the edge. He is 27 right now. So you've got a 1 year rental of that you're going to get a RB2 for fantasy and one of the offenses that everyone wants to have a piece of, and he's the cheapest option. Besides the guy right behind him, but the cheapest option that I would want to be in my starting lineup every single week. But
Yeah.
yeah,
The main thing, so we agree, but the biggest thing I think you need to worry about is I think people are thinking Monangai takes over next year. And
no, I don't
I
think so.
I I need I think people need to pump the brakes on that. I don't think that's really what's gonna happen.
Yeah, if someone wants to send me a second for Kyle, then I will take a second.
I I I got rid of him in a league for a second and a third, and I was quite
Perfect.
happy with it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go on to the next one. We got the Rams, got Kyron on sleeper. He's RB17, keep trade cut. That's his 27. That is not right. He is 17, also on keep trade cut,
Okay.
unless something has really gone wrong.
I don't think so. That would have been quite late.
No. He is 17 on both. Blake Corum though, RB32 on sleeper, 29 on keep trade cut. I would rather take the value of Corum, and I know that's probably
Oh,
hot. But they did start to use them quite a bit towards a 50-50 split last year. There was so many times that you would see someone carry the ball like, oh, is that Kyron? Nope, it's Corum. And I think it starts to lean more into even more into a 50 split. And Kyron is a bit older. He'll be 26 this year. I mean, he's not super old. Corum is going to be, I think Corum is like still super young. Quorum, oh damn, he's 25.6. All right, so they're only a year apart. That's crazy. I thought there
right.
was a huge gap between them. That's right, because Quorum came out when he was 20. He was late 23 when he came out.
Yeah,
Um,
he's picked extra year to win the title.
yeah, I don't blame the guy.
Yeah.
But as far as cost, I mean, Kyron, you're gonna have to pay a first plus for him, and Quorum you could probably get for a second. So, and I think they're gonna have comparably similar stats this year. They're both going to get work at the goal line. They're both going to be used in the passing game. And they're neither one of these is going to be the focal point of the offense. It's going to run through Stafford and Puka. But the ground game will still be there. And I think both these guys will still be good for fantasy. But for the cost of these two guys, I would rather have Corum. If I could trade Kyron for Corum and a first, I would do that.
I I don't know. I haven't seen any trades where Kyron goes for a first. Like, not a
Really?
2026 first that I've seen. I'm talking 2027 first. I don't think anyone's doing it. Like, I haven't seen anyone other than the people that own them. I haven't seen anyone that's willing to give up a first for Kyron.
I don't know anyone that's going to trade him for less than a first. I
I,
mean,
I'm just saying,
why?
I think he's
Why would you?
right now. Yeah. Because if you have him, you know how useful he is. If you don't have him, you think Corum is really good.
Yeah,
You're willing to give up a second for Corum?
yeah.
I'm I'm not. I maybe it's just me, and I understand the smoke is there for Corum splitting evenly with Kyron. The guy I'm liking a lot is a guy you didn't even list is Jarquez Hunter. I love it.
I don't care.
Well, that's the thing. You don't care. I think he's great because his value is zero.
Mm.
Literally waiver
Let
wire.
let me try and find him on Keep Trade Cut. I'm sure it's towards the very bottom.
The only reason he'll be above 100 is because I've drafted him a lot.
uh, Jaquez Hunter RB 81 on Keep Trade Cut.
Yeah. Anyway, the reason I like him is he's free 99, you know, where you're right. Corum might cost a second. And if someone has him or if someone has Kyron and Corum, you're not getting just Corum off him, right? It's like, what's
Yeah,
the point? So,
yeah.
um, I, I think Kyron is still their guy. I think Corum is still there. They're clearly playing for the title now. I don't think they're just going to give up on either of these guys. You know, they're not overly expensive. But I will say, I don't necessarily think they think Corum is their future, but I also don't think they're going to draft a running back next year. Like this is the opposite of
No.
the last couple of teams we talked about. I think they know their stack with they have, and Hunter, I think they like because they took him last year. I think they know what they got, and this is who they're riding this year and next year. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to add someone to this backfield. I believe Kyron signed that 3-year deal last offseason, so he's going into year 2 of that deal. Quorum is going into year 3. Or, yeah, year
Year
3.
three of his rookie deal. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yep.
so their contracts expire at the same time.
Yeah. Could,
Yeah.
or they work a friendly deal. Who knows? But no, I mean, here's the thing: is if either of them went down, I'm talking either way. For this season alone, that player now is a top 15 or top 12 running back. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so the idea
All right.
you got them, they're almost hurting you more. I mean, could this be a very similar situation to Ken Walker and Charbonnet last year? Remember, it didn't happen until Charbonnet got hurt that Ken Walker went to the moon in the playoffs, right? So could this be a situation where for fantasy, they both are kind of disappointing a little bit until or unless one gets injured?
Yeah,
And we both think this team's making the playoffs. So let's say what happens if the same thing happens in the playoffs where one of those two gets injured? The other goes to the moon, and then who knows, right?
yeah. How about you talk about the next one?
Okay.
These, these two guys are dirt cheap.
Yeah, they are. I'll jump into it. It's the Minnesota Vikings. Aaron Jones, sleeper 55, keep trade cut 61. Jordan Mason, sleeper 44, keep trade hit 47. I actually like the value of Jones because I think both these guys are pretty much a 1-year player. Because I think there's another team that's either going to sign a running back in free agency next year or draft one. And because of that, I I think Jones might have more value right now. You know, he's the cheaper player and is probably getting more than what Jordan Mason is in the work. Would you agree with that, or where's your thoughts?
For as cheap as these guys are, I would prefer the one that has the pass catching upside, which is Jones. And Jones. I mean, he's at RB 55 on sleeper. I mean, he's
Yeah.
basically free. I mean, you could probably send a third right now and get him today. Um,
It
so
any non-contender has him. If you offered him a third, he's gone. Like you got him. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yep,
There's no doubt. At contender, he's a solid person to have on your team, right?
yeah.
He could be a good, solid fourth or fifth running back that some weeks you might even have to flex
Yeah,
if it
he
goes
would be
well.
someone that I would prefer to throw in another trade, like to sweeten the deal. Like, hey, send me back Jones, and now I've got another starting back to go into the season in a game where it is very hard to find starting backs in Dynasty. I mean, you get into week 8, 9, 10, and people are struggling to find a RB 2 or 3. So, Jones, if he stays healthy, He's going to be the starter. That's what I believe. Jordan Mason, I don't think is going to add much value. Maybe on the goal line. That's probably it. And then if Jones goes down, I'm not excited about the upside for Jordan Mason. But if Jordan Mason goes down, I would be more excited that Jones is going to get more of the work.
Yeah, I'm I'm more in on the Jones. And I agree as like a throw in. If he's still around and healthy, it'll be fine. He's the perfect guy. Truly, if the team is contending, you keep him around. If it's a if all of a sudden you look halfway through the year that you're not going to really win this, he's the perfect guy to throw into an extra trade and try and get an extra third / bump of value up, right? I I think he has a role all this year because that team needs to find out their quarterback, and they don't have the running backs to just keep handing the ball off. So they're going to need to figure out who can play with which quarterback.
Hey, Colin, do you feel okay?
Why?
I don't know. I just haven't seen you made a trade in either of the two startups in like the past like 3-4 days. Like it's scary.
Once
The
once we that's the best comment. Once we get past like startup pick 20, I have so much trouble. Like, what's the point? Like, what am I trading for at this point?
You were trading every 30 seconds in those
This
two
is
startups in the first
100% true. As soon as they
10
start, I was
rounds.
going at it. Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that we're here, I'm just selecting players and moving on.
Theo Johnson, you're going after probably one, no, not Wandale, but you're probably going after like Khalil Shakir.
Wandale went forever ago. Khalil Shakir went forever ago.
Yes, because you took them, but all right. Um,
Honestly, didn't take Shakir, and I mean one of them. It might have been both. I don't think I have Shakir in either of them.
you fraud. All right,
It-
I'll move
that's
on
a statement.
to the Saints because I know you don't like to talk about them. You hate
Yeah.
that team. So you have Travis Achan on sleepers, RB19, Keep Cut 21, Alvin Kamara. Yes, we're still talking about Alvin Kamara. Sleeper 62, Keep Cut 73. Is he going to play this year? Is he going to retire? Is he going to get work? What's the split like? I don't think anyone's trying to buy Alvin Kamara right now. But there is a world where Alvin Kamara is going to eat into some of the work for Travis Achan, and that's the issue. What do you believe the split is going to be? I mean, there could even be a world where Alvin Kamara is a starter week one and everyone's super pissed off. I don't think that is going to be the case. I mean, you paid a shitload of money to Travis, and he's the younger back, probably not by much because he's super old too, but he's still probably 5 years younger. And
Yeah, it's
Alvin
something
Kamara
he might be
could
for.
could do just enough to piss off people that have Travis. And I would still prefer Travis. I don't think anyone's trying to trade for Alvin Kamara, but if you have him, something happens to Travis, he's probably gonna see a lot of the work. As much as he's looked not himself these past 2 years. Um, you know, where do you see Travis's value going next year? Because I think it's pretty set in stone this year just because people don't know what's going to happen with Alvin Kamara just yet. Where do you see him going next year? Because this is probably Alvin's last year. Do you think he rises in value after this year?
Because of his age, I don't know if his value goes up with rookies coming in too. But I
That's
think this year, ETN gets, let's say, 60 to 65% of the work, and Kamara definitely eats into it. People aren't happy, but he does fine. The offense should be pretty good. Um, Going into next year, I don't know if his value goes up, but Kamara going away will all of a sudden maybe he gets the chance to bump back up into that 65 to 70, 75% range of plays, touches, right, in the backfield. I still think they kind of like Devin Neal as a third option. Kendre Miller will be gone. I think Devin Neal they like but got injured, and then will be fine with that running back room, knowing they have to rebuild the defense for next year. So I think ETN at running back 40 is solid for this year. The offense will be fine. Going into next year, I think it'll be probably a good value. Like, I think he still will
It,
go around the same range, but probably outproduces it. Talking about
yeah, that's fair.
2027.
He'll be 28 years old, and next year at this time he'll be 28 and a half. So he'll be in that tier of older backs that are gonna produce but are older, so their value is not as high. So if you're a contender, he's a
Yeah.
solid back to have this year as your RB 2 or 3, and then next year he's gonna hold that same value, but probably give you more production than next year. That's the way that I would see it.
Yeah. And Kamara, people are like, why don't they trade him? Why don't they cut him? It'll cost the Saints actual money in their cap if they just cut him. It's cheaper to keep him.
Yeah,
Like that's that's where this deal is. It makes no sense to trade or cut really. He's on the
yeah.
team. I mean, trading you could probably work something out because after June, kind of like Brown, right? But truly, who's going to give up any pick for him? Like, what's the point?
Yeah. All right. How about you go to the Bucks?
Tampa Bay, we're starting with Bucky. Sleeper has him running back 14, keep trade cut at 19. Gainwell is sleeper 38, keep trade cut 40. Sean Tucker, sleeper 66, keep trade cut 62. I think I think Bucky's starting to fall and continue to fall to a point that I think he's a value. I still think the Bucks like him. I still think they want him to be their starter. We understand Gainwell and Rasheed Rice, not Rasheed, see Rashad White are very similar to me, kind of in their role, and what they did for the team. I think Gainwell is even last year he just caught passes. What made him fantasy viable. This year, I think it's the same way. And Sean Tucker is more the goal line back possibility as well as the runner. I think Tucker and Gainwell, if Bucky is injured or gets hurt, those are the two that are going to split. I think it's truly Bucky's backfield, and they want to see if he can be the real lead down back. But his value keeps falling. As long as it keeps falling, I think he's a pretty good buy because he's young. We saw it 2 years ago. Last year was the injury. I understand the shoulder has kept him out, but he's back now. But I really think they have so many other holes, especially on defense, that is running back is not going to be high on their priority list in the next couple of years.
Yeah, just in the past 6 months, he's went from RB 10 down to RB 19 on keep trade cut, and a lot of that has to do with when they signed Gainwell. That's really when his value started to tank, and then this past month or so, when it's come out that he may be back, this summer or fall, and people go or fall, and so I think Gainwell right now is a huge value. I think he does a lot of the same stuff that Bucky can do, at least in the passing game. Not so much on the ground, but that offense, Baker likes to throw it to backs, and Gainwell just led the Steelers in, I think it was yards and catches this past year. So like he's someone that could really slip into that role, someone that's basically free on sleeper as RB 38, probably a third round value, a fourth round value. If you can get him in a trade just as a cherry on top, that's how that trade should probably go. Because if you just go to someone that's got Gainwell and try to offer them a third, they may not take it. Um, so Gainwell, I think, is a huge value right now because there's a good chance that Bucky is not going to hold up. That it's not going to go well again this season for Bucky. I like Bucky. I think he's a great player when he's on the field, but when he is on the field is the question. And all the issues that he had this past year, and they're still going into this year, Bucky could continue to fall or lose his role altogether. And you're looking at Gainwell and Tucker being the 1-2 punch if Bucky's out. And when he comes back, I don't think he's going to get all the work again. They did try and do that when he came back this past year, and he didn't look like the same player. So it went back to, going back and forth between White and Tucker and White both had weeks that you were happy with this past year. So the value in the player that I want is Gainwell. Tucker is very sneaky because he had some huge games this past year, and he looks good when he's got the ball in his hands. He was someone that I liked a lot when he was coming out of college. It's just he had the heart condition that made him plummet in drafts. So he's a talented player that I like, but he's just left for dead. If I have Tucker, I'm going to hold him. Gainwell, I think, is a very sneaky value and could be an RRB2 this year with as much work as he gets in the passing game.
So my only issue with Gainwell is he literally last year only had 2 games with more than 11 carries. And one of them was because, don't forget, Jalen Warren got injured for the London game. So they played Minnesota and London without him. Remember, and he kind of was a shocking start, like a late last second start, and he had 19 carries there. But other than that, he had 1 game with 13, and the next highest was 10. And then he averaged only like 6 carries a game, which is, but that's not much. Now, he caught a ton of balls. We've already discussed that.
That's the that's the upside. That's the piece that I want for fantasy, because this is full PPR. And if he can give you, 5 catches a game for, 40 yards, so like that's a solid floor. Go ahead.
But was that a Gainwell thing or was that a Rodgers thing?
It was probably both. It was probably both.
I would agree with that. I'm more saying the idea that Bucky is plummeting, I don't think that should be happening, because Gainwell is not going to take over the running game, rushing touchdowns, etc. And maybe Tucker cuts into that. But I just think we're getting to the point that it's falling too far. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it could also come out to where this is a 3-man backfield when they're all 3 playing and they all have their roles and they all eat into each other's work, and you don't know who to start each week, because Tucker got a lot of work towards the end of last year. Where why would you not give him work? He's shown that he can do a lot with not a whole lot of work. So
yeah, I'm trying to remember. Everything I keep hearing, and this is what I keep hearing, is that, and I'm going to make sure I'm seeing it or hearing it correctly, is that Sean Tucker, I keep hearing, has the goal line work, or goal line work. And if he gets some of the goal line work, now Bucky definitely gets chopped off at the knees a little bit more.
Yeah. And then you're splitting first and second down work and passing game work between Gainwell and Bucky. So they could all eat into each other's work.
Yeah.
But all right, I'll go to the next team, is the Washington Commanders. All 3 of these guys are being drafted super late. No one really stands out and has a whole lot of value. You got Bill at RB 39 on Sleeper, 37 on Keep Trade Cut. Rachaad White, 46 on Sleeper, 42 on Keep Trade Cut, and Katron Allen at 63 on Sleeper and 51 on Keep Trade Cut. Bill, for as much hype as he had last year, he didn't do a whole lot with it. He got a lot of opportunity, didn't do shit. I don't care about Bill. I think White is the vet that could earn a lot more work, especially in the passing game. And then Katron Allen would be a sneaky goal line back, because Bill didn't do well at that last year. Katron could really be someone that steals a lot of the goal line and short yardage, and White gets a lot of passing game. And then what does that leave Bill? I know Bill is probably going to get the start to the season. He's probably going to get the chance to prove he's a guy. There's been talk that he looks better. We need to work on this and this and this. So they're trying to invest in him. But you have a vet in White and then Katron that's just a different player than those first 2 guys. This is another backfield that they could all eat into themselves. But when you have this close of a grouping where they're all super cheap and super late, someone's going to stand out at some point in the season. Which one do you think it's going to be?
If you ask me, it's the same thing I said before, which is I like the value of the cheapest guy, so I like Katron Allen. And it really comes down to, at some point, they got to see what they have, because I think this is another backfield. If Bill doesn't take off, which he had the opportunity last year and didn't, Rachaad White, they know what they got and they know what they signed as a passing down back with a little bit of extra work. Katron's the only one that really looks like a between the tackles true runner. And if none of these guys pop off, we've discussed it with a couple other backfields, this is a perfect prime position with Jaden Daniels already your quarterback. to go get a running back and build around Daniels and have a guy
Yeah.
next to him that he trusts as a 3-down back. And so all these guys I think I took Katron a lot because the second round was weak and I took him in the second, maybe early third, right? And a lot of rookie drafts. I just want to see if he has a chance. And if he does have a chance, great. If not, Bill's probably done for. A rookie comes in next year. Katron Allen is the Sean Tucker role, and Rashad White is the Gainwell role to a rookie that hopefully gets a lot of use. Maybe not. Well, that team's competing, so maybe right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to take my shot on White just because he's a proven vet. And he's probably gonna get a lot of the third down work just because he's probably the better blocker of the three. He's the better pass catcher of the three. So that passing game work is something that I want to target in a backfield where no one's really the clear and cut guy.
But did Jaden like checking it down to his running backs? I don't think he does.
Eh,
A lot of those running quarterbacks don't like it as much. But part of the reason I bring that up is you've said it multiple times. You like the pass catching option. I think if you're trying to get a solid floor as like a fourth or fifth running back that could sub in, that's a great idea. If you want true upside, you need to get lucky and try and find the home run. And the home run of this group, we know what Rashad White is. I think we saw what Bill is. The home run is Katron Allen, in my
yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, that's true. And he's the one that would probably have the upside of getting you 10 plus touchdowns just because of
Right.
the goal line work. So
No,
I'm fine with
exactly.
that.
So that's kind of why I
So
like it.
so we are on the stance of we don't care about Bill, even though he's currently the starter. We don't think it's gonna last.
And I think his value is a little too high. I think people that have Bill enjoyed the ride that was shitty last year and aren't trading him for much. But like, I mean, you and I, we're not giving up a future second for Bill, are we?
No,
But
no,
would
I
you give up a
wouldn't give a third.
future third?
No, I don't
Okay,
care about Bill.
that means you don't care about Bill at all. Bill's the guy to me that we get to see. And if you're contending and need a fourth, third running back, you have a couple injuries, and Bill's the starter, you could probably go get him
Yeah, cheap.
and plug him, play him. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
We already talked the Broncos. Do we want to go into them in depth or not really?
Just pick which one that you would rather have for this season.
This season is Dobbins.
I'm the same.
He's sleeper 37, keep trade cut 36. I think they brought him back because they want to use him. Everyone knows, and we've discussed it here, I have a lot of RJ Harvey shares. But I mean, if you asked this year, it's Dobbins. I just don't think, I think after this year, he's gone, which means it's the Coleman Harvey show. So, like, could there be a dead cat bounce with Harvey getting value after this year?
Didn't
Or
Dobbins get a 2-year deal?
I thought it was like a kind of a 1 year ish
It
deal.
might.
That's
It
what I
might.
thought it was. Does that make sense? Like, he's a
I'll
1 year
pull it up.
guy and
Go
he's
ahead.
gone. But can Harvey get a dead cat bounce if he struggles this year and be the passing game, change the back guy with Coleman being the starter? Because let's be honest, they don't have that much draft capital to use. So in the future, they're gonna have to figure it out. You know, they probably could use some O line help and then replenish the defense that's getting a little older, right?
Ooh. So his contract for 2026, it's $4 million base salary, 4 million bonus. 27 is a 7 mil base salary and up to 1 million in game. No, it's also a bonus. So then he's also got a 2 mil incentive. So he's there for the next 2 years.
Let's see. I thought it was another one of those through 27. I mean, you just looked it up, so maybe that's what it is. But I always thought it was kind of a, 1 year glorified deal and move on.
Oh, he's got a base salary in 27 of $7 million.
Oh,
I'm
but
probably wrong. It's fine. Go ahead.
yeah, but I think it's only 2 mil in dead cap if they cut him next year. Like, I don't think it's much. So
So
I think
I'm
it's pretty
on
much
the
a
same
one-year
page
deal.
as you. I'm on the
Yeah.
same page as you for this year. I want Dobbins because he's gonna at least start the season as the starter. If he gets hurt, which he always does, then I want Coleman. I don't want Harvey. I want Coleman because I think Coleman is going to be the next man up to fill in for Dobbins. I think Harvey is still going to keep his role. Yes, his work might go up if Dobbins goes down, but he's still going to have that same role, and it is the pass catching role. So I'm kind of going against what I've been saying, but I don't think Harvey is going to add anything on the ground and at the goal line what Coleman could do. And Coleman is also a very good pass catcher. Like he's a very good pass catcher that can have a pass catching role in his own right. So give me the back that can do it all if Dobbins goes down.
I I don't disagree. The only counterpoint to that would be last season, Harvey had a knack for finding the end zone, and that means something. As much as he may have been not efficient between the 20s at all, he found the end zone, right? I mean, just look at the numbers. He did it.
Yeah.
The fact that Sean Payton immediately took a running back, now it was a fourth round, but immediately took a running back. The real question was that more of a Dobbins always gets hurt, so we need another running back, or is that a Harvey's not good? And I think Sean hasn't addressed it, and he won't ever have to, but we won't know until game one when we see the splits.
Yeah. And the fact that they came out at the start of the offseason and said, we want to add a back. Like at the very beginning of the offseason, they said that when Achan was in play, when Walker was in play, when Brees Hall kind of was in play, like there was interest from the Broncos in adding another back, and they couldn't get him. So
But but aren't those level players much higher than Coleman?
yes, absolutely. But
Right?
that
So
but that also speaks to how much confidence they have in Harvey. To me, at least.
it does to me too. Yeah.
Okay, I'll move on. The Texans. We got Monty and Marks. David Montgomery 27 on sleeper and keep trade cut. Marks is 36 on sleeper and 44 on keep trade cut. I don't care about Marks. I know you were a big fan of him last year. I didn't like what I saw on the field. Yes, that offensive line was terrible. And I think Monty is someone that can do it all. He can catch the ball. He's going to be between the 20s. Yes, they will split work. That's how the league works now. But I would rather have Monty, Monty, the vet that can do it all. And they did upgrade that offensive line this offseason slightly. So give me Monty. I mean, the fact that they're both in like late 20s, 30s, they're basically free compared to other guys. But Monty is someone that I'd be fine with as my RB 3-4 for the season if I'm contending. Yes, it might get scary, but I wouldn't be trying to trade for another back if I've got Monty as my 3 or 4. Marks, if he was my 3 or 4, I'd be terrified.
I I see it differently, and the main reason is Monty looked like he got old last year, and he started to get relegated to the backup. It has less to do with Marks, even though I like Marks, and more to do with the running back they brought in is another older version, kind of like Chubb last year. And I don't think Monty's not the same player he was 3 years ago. Last
No,
year, but I'm saying if that's the case, Marks is going to get 40% of the work to start. And if something happens to the old guy where he doesn't look right, they don't have another guy but Marks. Was it Jawar Jordan? Is he getting opportunities?
stud.
Exactly. Right. But you know what I'm saying? Like, where do they go other than back to Marks? And I'm with you 100%. I think there's another team that drafts a running back next year.
Yep.
So,
Or tries to at least.
yeah, right. Exactly. And so, not all these teams can draft them, but so far the 3 or 4 teams I've talked about seem like the prime situations to do it. So with that, does Marks have long-term value? A little bit, because even if they draft a rookie, he's the backup. For this year, Monty scares the shit out of me. The
I get it.
age, it didn't quite look the same, and I think the O-line's worse in Houston than it was in Detroit. And like all the three of these factors, Monty is, for me, a void in Dynasty and a complete avoid, not a complete avoid in redraft, but maybe so. But in Dynasty, Monty is not a guy I would want. Like, it's just, I I don't see it.
I don't blame you. How about you go on to the Jags?
Oh, this one's fun. So Jacksonville, Basel Tootin, sleeper 24, keep trade cut 22, and then Chris Rodriguez, footman, sleeper 57, keep trade cut 49. I have never been the biggest Tootin fan. He was barely the change of pace last year when ETN looked really good. He has fumbling issues. They brought in Rodriguez for a reason. Tootin may not be the receiving back even as the case. LaQuint Allen could be that. Jamari Taylor, the rookie who is undrafted, some people have a little hype for. The Tootin season, I think Tootin and Jonathan Brooks are just going to go through the roof over the next 2 months. So if you have them, hold on and trade in mid-August as soon as something good happens in a preseason game. I think the value could be absolutely ridiculous. I just don't think you're going to get the value you want. Like, the actual points on the field scored, I don't think are going to be where the value of the player is. And
Yeah,
that's what worries me. Yeah.
yeah, I'm on the same page with you. I would hold Tootin until the season starts and then trade him away. Because right now he's RB22 on keep trade cut. I don't think that he's going to be there next year. I think he's going to be a lot lower than that, especially because I think they're going to draft a back next year. And this is one of the teams that I talked about a back going to when we talked about the 27 guys. That if a back goes here, then I think Tootin's toast. Not good enough to be on your roster, but not someone that you want to start ever unless there's an injury to the guy in front of him. Just based off their current value, I would rather have Chris because I think Chris is going to get more work than people like, especially if you own Tootin. And for someone that is basically free, you are getting a back that's going to be on the field probably 40 to 50% of the time.
Yeah. No, I agree. Rodriguez is probably the goal line back unless the injury carries on, which is kind of lucky for Tootin. The fumble issues were real last year. Yeah, my biggest advice, hold Tootin till the first or second preseason game when he busts a nice one for a touchdown. And as soon as that's done and he looks like he's the starter, you're getting a 27 first for him. I'm just
kind of like this next guy, Travion, that had a huge preseason game last year and proceeded to do jack squat for most of the season, unfortunately. But Patriots, you have Travion that's on sleeper RB10, Keitra cut RB11, which is very high for someone that's probably not going to see the bulk of the work for his own team. Stevenson, people don't care about him, but he's probably going to see most of the work this year. He's going to see all the work on the goal line. He's going to see the early down work. This team still likes him, and they've shown even if he fumbles every single game, they're still going to give him the work. So Stevenson's at 35 on sleeper, 39 on keep trade cut. I mean, the value there for Stevenson for this year is juicy to someone that's trying to contend. Henderson is going to be the future. If he ever lives up to this RB10 value, that would be great. I just have a little bit concern that Stevenson might be there longer than we hope. Like, he might be there next year too. And then what? Like, there's no way that Stevenson is still going to be all RB10 next year if that's the case. But I was a huge fan of Henderson, but I've been very beat down on the fact of how much they are okay with giving a huge workload to Stevenson, even with all of his problems on the ground whenever he fumbles. But he still looked good last year when he didn't fumble. So it's it's a backfield that's going to be pretty split, and it's supposed to be a good offense, and they can't stack the box now there with AJ Brown. So hopefully both of these guys do well. The value is clearly there with Stevenson. You can get 40 Ramondre Stevensons for the price of Travion. But I like both guys going into next year. The value is just clearly on the side for Stevenson.
Okay, so I like it too. Henderson hasn't showed up, but he's still the rookie talent, highly drafted. Would you rather for this season? Well, and I guess age, maybe even for Dynasty. Would you rather Ramondre Stevenson or Monty?
Stevenson.
And you see he's going 10 picks later. You know, keep trade cut 39 compared to 27. Like that's kind of where I'm at too. Of what's the point of taking Monty if you can get that on, you know, as much as the schedule gets a lot harder for the Patriots, they still play some easier defenses, you know?
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest, Miami's not good, Jeff's not good. We know they play them a good bit. So,
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, that's the easiest way to say it. Henderson, I've drafted 0 in startups this year.
So high.
Yeah, I know, right? Steven, he goes high. That's the problem. The hype
And
is
the
still.
problem is you don't ever have picks there because you trade out of the 4th round and the 3rd round. So like
Is
it's
that a real
hard.
problem or is that just genius? Thank you. Where Stevenson, I haven't taken just because he is a this year play, which those startups I usually have traded out, so I don't really want to take him. But in any league that I'm actually competing, I have Stevenson in a good number of contenders because he's the perfect back for that. He really is. Cheap,
All right.
easy to get, easy to acquire, will put points up on your team.
How about the Steelers?
You want me to go with that one?
Yeah.
So we got Rico, Dowdle, sleeper 33, keep trade cut 35, and then Warren, sleeper 29, keep trade cut 33. I have had a lot of trouble trying to decipher what this team's doing because, of course, the first thing you hear in camp and OTAs is Caleb Johnson has the first rep. So what
I
the shit
forgot
are
to
we
put
doing?
him in there.
Yeah,
I forgot to add
and
him.
so it's like I don't know what they're doing. If you asked me, Rodgers is back. He likes throwing the balls to his running backs.
Jalen
I
Warren.
couldn't even tell you after Gainwell left which one of these two is actually that guy. You know, Warren caught some balls, but they loved Gainwell. Rico did a little bit of that, but he was more of the running back that was getting 180 yards when they were running the ball well. So Caleb Johnson isn't really a receiving threat. So you got to try and choose which of these guys do I think Rodgers is going to give 5 passes to, and then also will get a good bit of work. I think Warren's the guy. He's probably worth the value. The problem is long term, I don't know what his value is anymore. So for Dynasty, you're really just looking for this year. And if you're looking just for this year, it's probably Warren, but not by much. And so the idea that keep trade cut is 33 to 35, take whatever one you feel more comfortable with. If you want to feel Rico showed it and was healthy last year, fine. You know, none of these guys are super sexy, but as you see where they're going, they're a running back 3, and you might have them as a running back 4 on your team.
Where do you think Caleb Johnson's value started when he was drafted? What RB position?
Last year, you're talking this year.
This past year. So when he was first drafted.
You're talking startups like this February, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, he was probably taking running back 96.
No. This past year when he was drafted into the league, when he got drafted by the Steelers, what RB position?
He had to be RB 18.
RB 15. He is
Jeez.
currently down to RB 57.
57. He's moved up. If you talk,
No, he hasn't.
Startup,
No, he hasn't.
yes, he did. If you took him in the startup in January, February, and March after he was dead, his value has come up more recently purely because people are hearing he's getting reps.
Okay, you are correct. His lowest point on keep trade cut is RB 58. So he's moved up one slot since then,
Boom.
and that was back in May.
Yeah. Suck it.
All right, all right.
What say your thoughts. I've talked a lot about it, but who do you like and why?
Just from what I've seen this past year with Rodgers, he likes to check it down a lot, and I really think that's going to be Warren. Yes, Gainwell was better at it than him this year, but this past year, but Gainwell's not there anymore. And I think Warren is the better pass catcher. Now, the amount of work that Rico is going to get on the ground and at the goal line will probably even out the split between the two as far as points. But how do you want those points? Do you want the points? Do you want to count on touchdowns, or do you want to count on catches? So I'm going to lean Warren. I think they're both going to be RB 3, 4s for most of the season. So it's someone that you're hoping that you don't have to start really ever. But if you need to, they're not going to give you zero.
Yep.
That's where I'm at.
Good way to put it.
All right. So the last team for the backs, and we still have wide receivers and tight ends, so this might run a bit long, but oh well. Titans, you got Pollard on sleeper at 43, keep trade cut at 41, Spears at 49, keep trade cut 50, and then Singleton is ahead of both of those on sleeper and on keep trade cut. Sleeper is 40, keep trade cut is 38. I want to go with Singleton just because we've seen what we've seen from the first two. I think this offense is going to be better than it was last year. I hope it is. They've added a bunch of new weapons. And I think Singleton is going to be the goal line guy. I would probably project Spears and Pollard to split the first and second down work and the pass catching work. But if this team is young, they want to go in a younger direction, I really think that there's a chance that Singleton could take over all of those down, all of the work as far as not really all of it, but he could have a role on the goal line in the passing game and between the 20s. So shooting for upside for me is Singleton, especially at where they are at in value. The safer picks are going to be Pollard and Spears just because they are the presumed guys at the very top. But I wouldn't be shocked at some point this season that Singleton is the main guy.
I see it differently. This is the first backfield where I think we're different on. If you were that high on Singleton, did you take him as a first round pick in rookie drafts?
No, I didn't.
Based on what you're talking, that's how high you have him.
No.
Um. Anyway, and I can't disagree because I think in the second half of the year that could happen. I think it's
Yep.
Pollard's backfield to start. I think Tony Pollard is the guy. I think he's the one you want for the first 6 weeks, and then see what happens. But I think Pollard is what I would say criminally underrated right now. I think he truly is the back you want. I think he's a perfectly fine running back 3 that is being drafted as a running back 4. And honestly, if you need to sub him in because you missed or an injury or whatever, and he needs to be your running back 2, I think you'll be fine. And so Pollard's my guy of this group. He's also the second cheapest. Spears is fine if you need some receptions, but I really think you need an injury more so anything for Spears to be worth a shit. I
Yeah.
do say, though, I agree with you. Let's say week 10 on, Singleton could be the guy they're looking at because they need to see, do I need another running back or can Singleton and maybe Pollard's a free agent, but let's say Singleton and maybe another cheaper back be the guys, or do I need to go get a real hammer?
Yeah. I mean, the only guy that I see that can rise in value going into next year is going to be Singleton. I don't think Spears or Pollard is going to rise. And the fact that they all cost about the same, give me the guy that could take over the backfield and be worth more in the next year.
Yeah, to me, it really more comes to if you're competing now, I don't think Singleton's going to do it, going to help you.
No.
I think if you're competing, Pollard really could. If you're planning or rebuilding or planning for the future, even just past this year, or have enough guns early and looking for the second half of this year, Singleton's probably the better play.
All right, let's move on to the wide receiver position. We're going to start off with the Cardinals. They're on here for QBs, backs, and receivers. Promise you they will not be on here for tight ends. But to start off, we got Marv and Wilson. Marv is wide receiver 21 on Sleeper, 23 on Keep Trade Cut, and Wilson is at 33 on Sleeper and 39 on Keep Trade Cut. Now, a lot of this, like we've already said, it depends on who is the QB. And with what Wilson showed with Jacoby Brissett last year, Wilson is also going into the final year of his deal. So he's playing for a contract. Now, do they want to pay Marv or do they want to pay Wilson? Because Marv is getting into that range where he would either have his fifth year option picked up or a contract going into next season. But as far as the value and the potential production, honestly, I would rather have Wilson. And for someone that's been on Marv's side since the very beginning, like the cost to get Marv, like if someone sends me a DM and they want to trade for Marv, I'm pretty much saying I'm good. Like unless you offer me a first plus, then there's no way because I have so much invested in Marv, and the fact that they're probably going to get a QB next year. Marv is the one that could really jump in value next year once they get a QB. Wilson for this year, I think, could be a great pick for someone that's trying to contend this year. Just with the pairing with Jacoby and Wilson, what they did for that stretch of games was incredible. And to get him at wide receiver 33 on Sleeper and 39 on Keep Trade Cut, like that's a steal of a value.
Dude, I don't know if it is. And the reason I say that is what if he comes back down to earth this year? Is he the next, I don't know, Gabe Davis 1-year wonder slash?
Gabe Davis had a game that got him all of his value. Wilson had a stretch of 7-8 weeks. There's a
When they were throwing the ball 50
difference.
times a game?
I'm just saying
I'm
that
just saying for me,
he stepped up. But also
Marv
for that,
was
Marv was
the
hurt.
given one, the god, and now we have Wilson who looks good. I just I mean, if
Why
you
can't
ask me
Marv
in
do that?
startups this year, in startups this year, I'm avoiding both. So it's hard for me to say anything. The one I like is Trey McBride because he's done it and I think will continue to do it. Marv, I'm with you though. If I have him, I'm not giving him up less than a first, and I don't think anyone's trying to do that. Like he's one of those other holders that you're just riding out. And if he sucks at this year again, maybe then you're finally done and you've lost value. But I don't think
then his
anyone that has
value
Marv is going to do it cheap.
his value is going to go back up because they're going to draft a QB, like, and people are going to tell themselves like, "Oh, it was just a QB problem." Meanwhile, Jacoby Brissett threw for 6,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. This year with Wilson. So like, I still like Marv. I still believe in Marv. I'm not trading him away, but I'm not trying to get more shares unless I'm unloading an older asset and I'm trying to play for it in next year. So
yeah, I get it. I mean, it's hard to talk about him without knowing the true quarterback or what's happening and the idea they'll have a next one. But I don't think, for me, I'm not trading for Wilson, and I'm not giving away Marv. And so I think it's kind of easy answers there. Moving on to the Bears, which is a little more exciting because of what we saw with the coaching changes, all that. Bears seem to be the hype team this offseason.
again,
Again, out. Oh my God, what a shot. So Rome sleeper 19, keep trade cut 19, Burden sleeper 18, keep trade cut 20. Every draft I'm in right now, Burden goes ahead of him. I think the hype is real. I'm if I have Burden, great, I'm happy. I mean, he's going in like mid fourth in some of these startups, and I'm not willing to make that investment yet. That's my problem. We saw it a little at the end of last year, but then went to the playoffs and he disappeared a couple times. I'm I'm scared of just jumping into the hype and the realism. For me, I would prefer Rome for his value because I've been seeing it fall into the late fifth, sixth round. I can go look at our startups where they went. I didn't get either of them. The more I think about the Bears, the player I continue to want is probably Caleb. Because if these guys are as good, and then if Colston Loveland's as high as we think, Caleb's got to be what, a top 4 or 3 QB.
Yeah. I I also prefer Rome. And you also look at the start that he had last year. Yes, he did score a lot of touchdowns, but then he got hurt. And so it kind of fell off for him last year. But when he was healthy, I believe he was at like top 7 wide receiver in fantasy. It was stupid. And then he got hurt and he was never the same again. Um, I would rather bet on the type of receiver like Rome that is going to be the X, that's always going to be on the field, that's going to be a target in the red zone. But also, you have Colston. I think if I had to rank all three of these, it would be Colston, Rome, and then Burden. I think you're probably on the same page. But if all three of these guys are good for fantasy, that also means Caleb is good for fantasy. And Caleb can, well, not necessarily good for fantasy, but he can do enough to supply these three weapons for them to be good for fantasy. And Caleb, if he takes another step forward, not a huge step, but if he completes, 65% of his passes, 67% of his passes, then he's going to be a very good QB in this league, and he's going to be around for a long time. And you have so many young players on the Bears. I'd still prefer Rome just because I think the ceiling's higher for Rome.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm just quickly looking at it. He was wide receiver the first 4 weeks, and then he hit a bye, and then that's when I believe he got injured as well. Not all the way through the year, but I'm talking about it. He was wide receiver 19 on the week, wide receiver 4, wide receiver 20, wide receiver 17. So a very usable and easily helped your team. He scored a touchdown every week, which also helped, but
Yeah,
he
that
was
also helps.
clearly a valuable piece of that team that each week you started him as a wide receiver too. I mean, he did that well or better, and so um, could we get back to that? What was that? He averaged like 18 points a game during that stretch, which is very high.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
hey, I'm with you. I think I like Rome better, and part of that is just the value. You can wait another half a round to get him. Let me see. In this startup in Dad's 35, Rome went at 510. Luther Burden went at 505. So a little bit um, earlier
closer at
there.
least.
Yeah, much, much closer. And then let's look at 34. In Dad's 34, um, Luther Burden went at the 412. Rome went at the 505. So a half round in both of them. But Luther Burden at the 412 just feels like so much.
Yeah.
Um, anyway.
But Burden can also still be good for fantasy. He can really develop into a player that is, more than just a short yardage guy, over the middle of the field guy, more than just a screen guy. And they all kind of fit into that offense where they could have the roles and all be good at them. Like Rome could be the deep guy, the outside X, and then you have Colston who works the intermediate, over the middle and towards the sideline type guy, and then Burden can play underneath, and they can all three be great at those roles. My fear is that you know what more than likely is going to happen is two of these guys are going to be good for fantasy between Colston, Rome, and Burden, and I'm most concerned about Burden. So
Yeah, and I think other people are most concerned about Rome, but I'm with you. I think I'm definitely curious about Burden, and what scares me most is what if this team isn't as hype or isn't as good as we're thinking? What if Caleb doesn't take the step and become a 65, 66% completion guy? And the offense doesn't catch the bomb touchdown in the playoffs that everyone remembers, or the Hail Marys, or some of these plays. What happens then? Um, anyway, that they lost their center, so that's a little continuity up front. I'm scared is just everyone getting pumped up a little too much.
Everyone is very expensive in that passing game.
Yes.
All right, let's move on to the better team. The Packers. Let's go. Watson, wide receiver 36 on sleeper, 33 on keep trade cut. Golden is 50 on sleeper. He's 35 on keep trade cut. So a 15-point difference on Golden. And then Reed is 55 on sleeper, 45 on keep trade cut. I would rather have Watson, Golden, and then Reed. And I think Golden is a value right now because people are so down on him from his first year. But he's going to be on the field in two wide receiver sets. He's going to be the second guy on the field. Reed is going to work in the slot mostly. Yes, they do rotate these guys, but they don't have as many as they did before to be able to do that. So Watson's going to be on the field all the time. Golden's is going to be on the field all the time. And then Reed is going to be the slot guy and the third guy to me. I know you prefer Kraft, and I totally get that. That's like Kraft is going to start the year and be great. I'm just going to throw that out there. So whichever the second option is to you, would you rather have Watson, Gold, or Reed?
I mean, we've discussed it, so it's not even close. It's Watson. I mean, he just got the contract, which I actually would have loved it if he didn't get the contract until week 1, because his dynasty value would have been lower. And I think you and me and some of those savvy owners would have just kept taking him at the better value. He's been moving up. He went probably a round and a half earlier in these startups than he did in the past few. And so we're losing the value. But for me, it's Watson. I think Watson is the guy with the upside, with the touchdowns, the flash. Yes, he's also the one that's always been injured, but he got a contract, so he's going to be there for a while. My next guy is for me, it's Reed. I just think we've seen it before. Last year was down, of course, with some injuries, etc. I just think he's cheaper than Golden and probably outproduces him.
There's a possibility. Probably not going to happen, though. Golden's going to score like 8 touchdowns, probably going to catch like 70 balls, like 1,200 yards, something like that. It's
8
fine.
touchdowns. Oh, man, that's just so good.
All right, how about you take the Saints?
How many touchdowns did he have last year?
He had 1 last year, and it was a hell of a touchdown. It was a hell of a touchdown.
Oh, man, just awesome. Maybe he could double that.
Next. He will definitely.
There's only 2 players to really talk about. Chris Olave, who had a great year last year and got touchdowns. Sleeper 12, keep trade cut 16. Jordan Tyson, the new rookie they took very early in the draft. Sleeper 20, keep trade cut 17. The fact that keep trade cut has him 16 and 17 is still, I guess, is shocking to me. Olave clearly did better last year. I don't know why they're this close.
Maybe age, because Chris Olave is 26.
26-year-old receiver that just came off a hell of a year with the quarterback.
Yeah, but Tyson is 21, so there's a 5-year age.
I think it comes down to the rookie. But if you're asking me, I'm not playing Dynasty for 5 years from now. Even when I'm trying to rebuild, I'm playing for next year or the following. And so with that, I think Olave is the better player. I understand he had concussion issues. I don't have many shares of Olave. I'm a Saints fan. I was very scared of the concussions. Last year, he proved he can stay on the field with a better coaching staff, with a better offense. I think Tyson takes some of the looks and double teams off of Olave. So I think that's really actually going to help him and maybe make more space. Juwan Johnson's still around. We like the tight end, Oscar Delp, but I think these 2 are probably the 2 starting receivers for the team for the next 3 years, foreseeable future. The fact that they're this close for this year is surprising to me. You can't say Olave is old. You just 26. He's not. if you asked me, I took Tyson early in rookie drafts. Everyone did. Somewhere between 3 and 5 is where Tyson should have gone. For me, he's probably between 3 and 4. Really right there. Um, and then you got Olave, who I think is above those guys. But what are your opinions on it? I'm curious what your thoughts are.
I like Tyson. Oh, I like Tyson. And o- Olave, while yes, he's 26, his brain's probably like 40. So, um, you know, both of them I think are going to be good for fantasy. I think they're both going to be, you know, wide receiver twos. Well, maybe Olave stays A1 because I think he was a like wide receiver like 7 this past year or somewhere in that
He
range.
was
But
high, especially near the end.
yeah, but now they add Tyson. Shuck is going into another season. He's like 28 years old. Uh,
Yep.
Tyson, I loved his film. The way he can catch passes is incredible. But he's not the same athlete, I would say, that Olave is downfield. I think Olave is going to be more of the deep threat, and Tyson's going to be more of the short area guy. Even though Tyson can go downfield, but just think Olave does that better. Uh, I would. I mean, if they're this close, I will take the guy that is 5 years younger. Just because, in 2 years, Olave is going to be 28. And in 2 years, Tyson's going to be 23. And you're going to be sitting there going, well, that 5 year age gap now looks bad. And I do think that Tyson is going to be on the same level as Olave. So if I could have Tyson instead of Olave long term, that's the route that I would rather go. But if I'm
If you're
trying
not,
to compete, if
uh,
I'm trying to win this year, I wouldn't fault someone for taking Olave just because he's going to be the one. More than likely, he's going to be the one. The odds are in favor of Olave.
yeah, I think if you're competing now, it's got to be Olave. I understand if you're in a rebuild, the idea that you would um, maybe want Tyson there. I understand, but neither are old, and relative to other receivers probably around them, I don't mind having either of them. You know, let's quickly jump back. Would you rather have Rome, Burden, Olave, Tyson? Rank them for you. Let's say, tell me as a contender and tell me as a rebuilder.
As a rebuilder, I would go. I'd go Tyson, Rome, Olave, Burden. As a contender, I would go Olave, Rome, Tyson, Burden.
Okay, so you are the Burden hater in this group, and I get it. I mean, all these guys are ranked close to each other, which is funny.
Yeah.
But I also understand your stance. I'm not going to hate either way. I just hope it's just funny that the Saints receivers are here where all the hype is on um the Bears offense, right? And you had them ranked this way, which means you're higher on the Saints offense than maybe not the Bears, but than a lot of people.
I mean, I think the Saints are going to, like, we have a bet. I think the Saints are going to make the playoffs this year. Like, I think that offense is going to be pretty damn good. And they just signed Cam Jordan back today, right?
Oh yeah, we got him.
Well,
Messes up our cap situation, but we got him back.
oh, the Saints have to have that. That's a requirement every year. It's not like it's something new. But the next two guys are kind of like in this same boat. You have the Eagles with Smith and Mekhi Lemon. Like it's the same thing. You have the older vet that's not really old, and then you have the young guy, and they're ranked pretty closely together. You have Smith on sleeper at 28, 18 on keep trade cut, and they're basically flipped. When you look at Lemon on sleeper, he's at 26, so he's higher than Smith, but on keep trade cut, he's behind Smith at 20 to 21. Um, I think Smith is going to have a very good season. I think Smith is a great wide receiver. There's not a whole lot that he can't do except break tackles with strength. But him and Lemon, I think, are very close in value because of the age gap, and they're both very very talented. Smith is going to be 28 this year. Makai Lemon is 22. So you have a 4-year age gap between no, that's a 6-year. No, yeah, that's 6-year age gap between the two. So almost identical to the Saints. I think the Saints passing offense is going to be better this year than the Eagles, but they're still the same type of player where they're young and talented, and it's an offense that people expect to at least be a top half offense. So to me, I'm probably like as far as value, we're just hard to pick because they're so close together. If I'm contending, I'm gonna go with Smith. If I'm trying to rebuild, I'm gonna go Mackay.
Wow. Okay. I'm I'm not as high on Lemon, and maybe that's just me. I didn't see it on the film. We discussed it. I still have
Because
him as
you
my
didn't
wide receiver.
watch the film. You didn't watch the film. If that is your stance,
Wow. You love his film that much? No,
yes, I
the
did.
film that I could never get away from. I told you this is watching him
Yep.
against Notre Dame with the amazing cornerback they have coming in the draft in 2027. That's going to be a top 8 pick, and he got schooled. Let's be honest, he dominated Lemon up and down the field. But besides that, I'm looking at these rankings, and Keep Trade Cut probably has it better than a sleeper. The sleeper is probably an ADP randomizer or whatever. You got Alavi 16, Tyson 17, Smith 18, Rome 19, Burden 20, Lemon 21.
Yeah.
It's because it's hard to choose, and I'm probably with you. You want the younger guys in the rebuild because they're also not going to score as many points this year, which helps your pick for next year. And probably the flip on the guys if you're trying to compete, right? You want Olave, you want Smith, and you want Rome again. So there's really, a clear mindset. The picks are all the same, but to me, there's a clear mindset of, are you going for it right now or are you planning for the future?
Yeah.
And that's even with me not liking Lemming. I like him enough to probably take him close to his value. You know, I agree. I think the age gap is serious. And, we've seen Smith a little bit without AJ, but not enough recently to say that he can be a true alpha, right? And dominate target share. I just don't think that's him. And if that's the case, I think you could be right with Lemon. The real question to me about the Eagles is, for this season specifically, that defense could be holy shit good.
Yeah.
And if the defense is holy shit good, is this more of a Saquon year with some tush push touchdowns, grind it out a little bit, new OC, all of it, where we don't get to see them open up, even though I could, I bet Sirianni would love to, just to prove AJ Brown wrong, right? So the real question is that, and that worries me a little bit with the whole passing game, not just this situation.
Yeah. And sorry, Vincent, I didn't bring up Wicks. I know he is on the Eagles. Let's see where he's going on Keep Trade Cut just to make you happy.
Well, if you're doing that, you might as well look at Marquise Brown too.
No, fuck off.
We're not doing Brown. Okay.
Wicks is wide receiver 89, which I believe right now he's a starter in camp right now. Not in camp, but while they're doing uh OTAs, like I think Wicks is the one that's showing out. So that's funny.
Whatever.
I I know, but if you are trying to buy into Smith and Lemon at 18, 19, 20, and then you have Wicks that's way down here, that's not even really drafted that highly at 89 on Keep Trade Cut. Like, the value is with Wicks because he could be on the field more than Lemon this year. There's a chance.
There is a chance. I mean, you're also crazy that Golden's any good with the Packers. So let's just keep moving on. I'll bring up the next team, and I'm going to take us into the Bills. And this is DJ Moore, sleeper 31, keep trade cut 31. Khalil Shakir, sleeper 60, keep trade cut 61. And then I don't see him on here, but we should probably discuss him, is Skylar Bell.
Coleman. Oh, yeah, that's fair.
No, I'm not putting Coleman or Palmer, like those guys.
Skylar Bell is a wide receiver 77 on keep trade cut.
77, so closer to Shakir than Shakir or any of those guys are to DJ Moore. What my opinion is, I think Moore could be fine and do pretty well this year. He probably is the best option. But for me, is there really that much different between Shakir and DJ Moore? And I don't know, 30 wide receiver ranks. So it's like
crazy.
That's like 6 rounds in a startup. I don't see that much different. I probably shouldn't even say anything because the number of stairs of Khalil Shakir I have is unfathomable and I wish wasn't as true as it is. I just shouldn't have that many shares of him. I get it. But the idea that he's 30 picks behind DJ Moore doesn't make sense. What are your thoughts there, Gus?
Just those out there. Keon Coleman is wide receiver 86 on keep trade cut. So with that out of the way, I think this is egregious. I think Shakir has a chance to be the better pass catcher in this offense with DJ Moore. Like if you're telling me you could take DJ Moore at 31 and Shakir at 60, I'm taking Shakir. And I'm not even your level of fan of Shakir. No. I think this is a no-brainer. You know, you look at the last time that the Bills got an older vet wide receiver that was traded over to him, and it was Amari Cooper. How'd that go?
Ouch.
This offense spreads the ball out so much that I don't think there's going to be a clear one. So if you have this much of a gap between Shakir and Moore, give me Khalil Shakir at 30 spots after Moore. This is insane.
Yeah. I think that's enough. Skylar Bell is the only question mark for me where we might have him. He's a rookie, etc.
Probably third or fourth.
Yeah, right. So yeah. I'm not as big a fan of Skylar Bell. I think this is why I like Shakir. I mean, you can get him, you could plug him into a flex anytime he's healthy, and he'll be solid for you. That's the biggest thing about it, you know. And if you got to plug him as your wide receiver 3 some weeks, fine. He rarely goes off and gives you the big week, but he's not one that is 20-2, you know, 21 week to the next, 21 week to the next. He's the consistent, you know, somewhere between 9 and 14 points every week. And that can really help if you have other guys that can blow up.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the Browns. Jerry Jeudy. I don't know why I'm starting with him, but he's the first one I got here. He's a wide receiver 73 on sleeper and keep trade cut. That's wild that it matches that far down the field. It was funny enough, all 3 of these match all the way down the field. KC Concepcion is 30 on both, and Boston is 44 on both. As far as value, like to me, it's still a guy that's the most expensive, and that's KC. I think he's the better wide receiver in this room, and the gap between him and Boston is not that big. Boston would be second for me, and then Jeudy, just the way that they're ranked. If you're taking a shot on a guy from this room, I would still want one of the 2 guys that they drafted this year, and that's for this year and going into next year when hopefully they have a new QB.
I don't know. I don't want anyone. I mean,
but you have drafted them, right?
Oh yeah, I have
a
good bit of KC Concepcion. I have a decent bit of Boston. I just think they're 2-year plays. I think this year is very questionable. I still think Fannin is the best. You know, the situation reminds me a little bit if you compare it to the Packers, except I think the Packers have a proficient offense and a pretty good quarterback. The opposite of this team. So the idea is the tight end's number one on both those systems. And then for me, I just think Judy's useless at this point. Like, the, like I mean, let's be realistic. I would love to look at his contract, but it doesn't even matter. Like, could they just cut him? I know he had a great year
Probably.
2 years ago, but if they could just cut him and let him go to a contender, like Judy going to Kansas City could be perfect for reviving his career and helping out them. You may hate it, Gus, but like if he's
Don't you say
here
it,
stuck
bitch.
with Cleveland one more year where the team is losing, his career turns into Omar Cooper, where he's got a Amari Cooper, excuse me, where he's got to boom, boom, where he's got to retire early. Like I don't know if he's going to get many other looks. Like it's just over.
How old do you think Jerry Judy is? You know that he was drafted very young,
Yeah, he should be 26 and a half.
27.1.
Okay. Yeah.
You're
So if
close.
he's done this year, he's 28, veteran that does nothing for you. Great. I mean, yeah. I, so if you ask me straight up though, who am I? I'm excited about Fannin, Casey Concepcion, Denzel Boston for next year. I think they have that set up. They draft a quarterback and they get an O-line. They
Yep.
have a running back. The defense is pretty good. They traded away, got an extra first. Like, I think the team's set up well for 2027. I really do. Like,
Yep.
I think it could be an exciting team if they build the O-line, get some pieces, and take a quarterback.
I like it. All right, let's go on to the Broncos.
All right, we got Waddle at sleeper 29, keep trade cut 27, and then we have Cortland Sutton, sleeper 49, keep trade cut 57. I like both these values, to be honest with you. I think they traded for Waddle to come in and use them. Sutton's still going to get touchdowns. He and Nix just have a knack for finding the end zone around the back or the sidelines. Just feels like it's a connection they have. And so I like both values. Sutton, you're getting so late. If you want to compete, what did he go in the last startup? I think it was like in the 12th round. And for me, I know he's older. I really do. I get it. But it's just, he's a perfect win now piece that you're getting very cheap. And yeah, I know he's 30 years old. I get it. And this might be his last year. But for some of the other guys you're taking, it's probably worth it having Sutton for at least this year if you're competing, over some of these other idiots. Matthew Golden. Like if you're competing now, you rather Sutton than Golden.
I would rather have Golden.
I know you would, but everyone else listening, Miles, Vincent, thank you. You understand.
No, I
Yeah,
think
they would. It's
I
okay. That's a little homerism, and that was a little shot. I know it's a
I
little later at night
think
and we're long in the episode, but I had to bring that one up. But
I would go Watson, Golden, Olave, Tyson. All right, I'm kidding. All right, I'm
yeah, right. Exactly. That's my man.
kidding.
There's the real answer.
Yeah.
But no, I think they brought in Waddle. They traded a lot for him. I think Peyton has a plan for him. Sutton is still going to be there. He might not get the amount of targets he got last year, but he's still going to be used around the goal line and be a nice, viable second option. What is interesting to see is you didn't even list Pat Bryant, which I
For what?
understand. He's a receiver on the Broncos, right?
I had no idea.
Exactly. And then you didn't
He is
list. Oh my
he is
God.
wide receiver 84.
And who's the third? I forget the third option on
See, you don't even know. It's Troy Franklin.
Roy Franklin. And then you forgot Mims, our boy Mims,
Don't I
who
don't
was the
care about those
highlight
bottom three.
option 2 years ago. Anyway, I
Yeah,
agree. I think
they
not including them
they
makes
like
sense.
them so much that they went and traded for Waddle. All right.
There. But yeah, what are your thoughts? Do you think these values are fair? You think these are fine? Kind of where you
I
can get
think
them?
Waddle, I do like his value. I think he has a chance to gain in value this season. And then Sutton, he is so cheap for a 1-year rental. I'm fine with the value if you can get him for like a third.
Gotcha. Sounds good. You want to talk about the Colts?
Sure. We got Alec Pierce, the man that just got paid, sleeper 32, keep trade cut 31. And we have Josh Downs, which has a pretty big gap between his sleeper and keep trade cut. Sleeper 57. I guess the ADP has not caught up yet to all the hype this offseason just yet. His keep trade cut is 37. So a 20 point gap between those two. So that means in startups he could fall just a little bit because maybe people aren't setting a queue or they're not scrolling down that far. I like. I do think Pierce is kind of capped at what he can do unless they just force feed him the ball. Because the way that he plays, it's mostly downfield. He did start to incorporate more routes this past year, and they paid him to be that guy. So there's a chance that that could happen. Downs is cheaper if you're looking in startup value, just where he's supposed to be going. If you just went straight on the board, I'm pretty sure that they're going pretty close together in startups. Uh, Downs is more of the PPR guy. You know, they got rid of Pittman, and so now you're looking to split those targets. I feel more with Downs and Warren. I don't think much more will go to Pierce. Pierce will probably, at best 70 catches if he has a great year. I mean, that'd be a great year for him. But he's probably going to be between 50, 60-ish range on catches. I think he was there this past year too, so probably closer to 70, and I think 70 is probably where it caps out. Downs is more of the guy that I think is going to get a lot more targets. He's probably going to be pushing 70 to 80, 90 catches. And then you have Warren that's going to be there too. It's just what happens with Dimes. Is he the same player as they had to start the season last year? Are they going to go on a run again because they were dominant at the start of last year? So the passing work is more consolidated than it was this past year, and you're hoping that Dimes can have the same level of production. I think it's going to be somewhere in the middle of what Dimes has shown us and where he was last year. Somewhere in the middle. I don't think he's going to get back to that form that he was at last year. But between these two guys, I think I would rather prefer taking Downs just because we're in full PPR. Now Pierce can score 12 touchdowns and he make up for it a lot in that area of the field. But for the consistent scoring that you're going to get, it's more with Downs, and I would rather take the player that's going later in Downs. To me,
Yeah, I think both values are fine based on what happened last year. I when I
you
usually say
hate
that,
Daniel Jones, so
that's
put that out there
really what it
first.
comes down to. I hate Daniel Jones because I do think a big part of his game was mobility, and when you tear an Achilles, that doesn't happen. You lost Rodgers. I know he was older, but you watched how much it depleted him, and then we saw Kirk Cousins' career disappear. And you could, I would argue both his quarterbacks pre-injury were better than Daniel Jones. And maybe we can argue that. Maybe you disagree, but that's where
I
I
don't
would
care
be.
to.
Yeah, we don't have time. Let's move on. So because of that, I'm still fine with Pierce. I agree. I think his value or his true upside, especially in catches, is capped. I think he can get to 75. I think they want to use him a little differently, but everything I'm hearing right now in OTAs is the fact that he's going to be out. Sounds like he might miss the first month, and that's not going to help you. And I don't know if Dimes starts the first month or 6 weeks. And so this offense could look pretty bad. And the real question is Tyler Warren going to be the beneficiary of all the issues? As much as we like the idea of Downs, but is Warren the guy and Downs a secondary, tertiary option? And if that's the case, the culture, kind of an offense I want to avoid, at least for the first 2 months.
That's fair.
Yeah. This is
All
a
right.
big one that we'll have to talk about. Moving on to the Jags. We got BTJ, sleeper 24, keep trade cut 25. Myers, who is older now, of course, sleeper 51. Keep trade cut 54. Parker Washington, who some people are falling in love with, sleeper 42. Keep trade cut 38. And then those are the only three receivers on their team.
Travis Hunter is wide receiver 43 on sleeper, 48 on keep trade cut. You missed that one. It's fine.
Oh, I didn't see his name. My bad.
Sure.
I didn't realize we're talking about cornerbacks real quick. I did not understand that.
He is wearing an offensive jersey in camp right now. All right.
Every other day, is he? Yeah, good for him.
No, it's every day.
Yeah. Anyway, on that note, it's too many mouths to feed. It's really who hits. Some people are saying Washington. Myers was probably the most consistent, but he's older. To me, this is a personal take. Hunter, I have 0 shares in all the leagues I play. I'm not taking the cornerback.
No
We
way.
discussed it. The guy with the upside is BTJ. We saw the upside. We saw where he could be. People are saying he's running better. He's healthier this year. Best shape of his life. We're hearing all the camp stuff. If he's in the right mindset and not having a mental breakdown and is healthy, BTJ's upside is a top 12, 10 wide receiver. Where would you put it? I mean, last year he was getting drafted as startup wide receiver 6, 7, right? 7, 8. I don't want to say 6, 7. Fuck.
You
Just
already
say
did
7, 8.
twice. It's fine.
Yeah. So let's say 6 to 8. And
There
so
you go.
his upside is there. So for me, BTJ is the upside I want to be taking in this range. I just think he has that possibility, and we saw it happen already.
Yeah. If you want to swing for the fences, it's obviously going to be Travis Hunter. I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. If I was calling my shot and I'm trying to, who has a possibility of being that top guy, and by far and away, it's Brian Thomas Jr. But if you're looking at just pure value, what they're going to do this year, I think the two that people really need to look at is Myers and Parker Washington. I've been someone that's been a big proponent of trying to trade for Myers because of the contract and the fact that what he does and what he can do. He could be a wide receiver 3 for you, and you don't have to give up much. And then you're also looking at Washington, who they're talking about that they like a lot, that might get a contract. Someone that could really rise in value is Washington. But right this moment, good luck trying to get Parker for a third. Like it's going to cost you more. Myers is the one that's cheaper, the one that I feel most confident that's going to be someone that you can stick in your flex this year and do well. It's not a long-term play, but you can get him for super cheap. Everyone wants to buy into BTJ and now Parker, and Hunter still has his fans. If you want to buy him, you probably missed your window to get him for free, probably 2 months ago. Now people are starting to look at it and go, I think I'll hold. I mean, I've been holding this whole time where I have him. Like, I want to see him back on the field. Like, I'm not going to trade him away for a 4th round pick. Like, I would rather just hold him and see what he does. And there's still the real chance that they trade BTJ, and now you're looking at a 3-pack of Myers, Washington, and Travis Hunter. So, but as far as just value, I'm looking to add Myers and Parker Washington for this season. Ones that you can still get fairly cheap. BTJ, you're probably still going to have to pay a first. So,
yeah. You think if someone offered you a 27 second, you think Parker Washington, like, if I said you have Parker Washington, I said, here's my 27 second, are you giving him up?
yes.
Gotcha. What about QJ? I know we're going to talk about them in a second, as in probably right now. Would you give up a 27, like if someone offered you a 27 second for QJ, are you keeping him or is he gone?
Keep it.
You see, that's interesting because
And I don't care what QJ Cut says. I know that QJ is going to be good this year. We've talked about him. To me, he's the only one that I know is going to be on the field for every single play. You have Ladd and Trey Harris. Ladd, I don't think is going to be on the field all the time in two wide receiver sets. They just signed another tight end and Njoku. They brought over the fullback from the Dolphins. This is a team that's probably going to run a lot more two wide receiver sets, and Ladd is not the guy that's going to be doing that most often. I think it's going to be Trey Harris and Hughes on the field a lot, and then when they need a pass, it's going to be Ladd that's going to come in the slot. Yes, he's going to be outside some, but the main role for him is going to be in the slot. QJ is the only one that I know is going to be on the field all the time. And if you look at the start of last year, when they were hot and heavy, they had both their tackles. QJ was going off. He was dominating. And for someone that's this cheap, I am shocked. On Sleeper, he's wide receiver 48. QJ cut 41. Ladd is the one that's right back to where he almost was the year prior. On Sleeper, he's at 15. On QJ cut, he's also 15. And then Trey Harris is behind both of those at 66 and 65. But QJ, the one, to me, is the value. Like, I would give up a second for QJ for this year. I think he's going to be at least a wide receiver 2 this year.
Yeah. The only thing I do disagree on, I think there's a chance Ladd plays outside more. I just do. And that's...
He will more, but is it enough to where he's on the field every single snap like Hughes? I don't think so.
And that's maybe where we disagree. I think he could, which would hurt more Trey Harris's value than QJ's. But I think if they want Ladd to be the real thing, I think they're going to give him more opportunity, and I think they feel that way about him. And if I think, if you think Harris is going to play in two wide receiver sets more with, let's say, two tight ends or a fullback on there, etc., I think that's a guy you need to go trade for. Just my opinion.
Well, it's not that I think he's gonna be on the field all the time. I think him and Ladd are gonna split a lot of the two wide receiver sets, as long as they don't bring back Keenan Allen. If they bring back Allen, I think Allen is gonna be on the outside, and it's gonna fuck up both of Ladd and Trey Harris. But I think Ladd and Trey Harris are gonna split a lot of the outside snaps, and when it goes to three wide receiver, it's going to be Ladd in the slot, which is where he's the best at.
I don't know why.
Last year,
I've always already thought Keenan Allen has retired, and just like the idea he might come back is giving me a little bit of headache. So I'm done talking about it. I just think Ladd has a better chance of playing. I think he's the guy that if we see a JSN-like rise, it's Ladd. I don't think it's QJ.
No, I'm not saying that QJ is JSN. I just know that he's going to be on the field every single snap, and he's going to be on the outside. This team is going to want to run the ball more. And how many times last year did I say that when Trey Harris is on the field, they're going to run the football? It happened every single time. When he came on the field, it was a run. Because so you have QJ and Trey Harris on the outside blocking, and then you have the two tight ends and the fullback in whichever order you want to put them in. So I just think Ladd is not going to be on the field as much. And to be honest, he probably shouldn't if they're trying to run the football. He's not that big of a guy. He's not the blocker. You want him to catch passes.
Yeah.
But
not true.
At the value, it's QJ all the way. I think he's going to be at least a wide receiver 2 this year. He may even be the best one on his team.
Who you think he's a wide receiver 2? Damn. I mean, here's the thing. Could he be we talked about Ladd being JSN. Could QJ be the Pickens comparison to last year?
George Pickens?
Is there another Pickens? Did I stutter? Wait, what other?
I'm just trying to understand where you're going with it. Like where Ladd and QJ are going to turn into Lamb and Pickens is what you're trying to say?
They both can't. But what I'm saying is some people are hyping up Ladd to be JSN. What you're kind of saying, which I could also see, I'm not even disagreeing with you, is the idea that QJ makes such a leap that he is similar to Pickens last year.
Yeah.
If he turns
I don't
into the
think
out,
he's going to be that good, but
well,
but
yeah, but that would be off the, that's even in the bracket, that's the 1% outcome, right?
yeah.
I'm just saying, based on what you're saying, if he's playing that much, is the outside, is playing every down, with the tackles coming back, with more time to throw, with the downfield threat, he could. And maybe that's how I should be looking at it more. Like we already discussed, I traded him away in a league for 2/3.
Yeah, and I
Looking
thought
back, I
that
probably
was
should have asked for a
horrible.
second. That feels bad, but right now, I got 2/3 for the QJ I know. Could he turn into Pickens? Likelihood, very little. But could it happen? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I think Ladd could take the JSN lead? QJ even take a half step down from where he was, and now, here we are. But anyway, I think it's an interesting team, wide receiver wise. It's hard to know right now, and I do like that you've made a stance and an opinion that QJ is the value, because it means it's easier for you to make that choice.
Yep.
I'm having issues because I haven't made that decision yet.
I get it. So how about you talk about the Steelers? That's enough about QJ,
Oh,
who
gosh.
nobody
Oh,
wants apparently.
yeah, Steelers. No one wants to talk about. DK sleeper 39, keep trade cut 42. Michael Pittman sleeper 46, keep trade cut 49, and then Jeremy Bernard sleeper 58, keep trade cut 60. Um, I probably like Pittman more than DK. None of these guys excite me. I have tons of shares of DK and Pittman. The only one that I have very little interest in is Bernard. I never thought he was that good. I don't know who, I don't know what the team looks like in 2027. They're going to have to either trade or move on from one of DK or Pittman for Jeremy Bernard to be anything. They love using multiple tight end sets. It seems like they're excited about doing that again, because they paid Washington and they like Freiermuth. And then I don't know who the quarterback is in 27 moving forward. I mean, Gus, I'm
Mac
assuming you don't
Jones.
understand or have any idea who it is either. And so if that's the case, being excited about Jeremy Bernard just seems like a fallacy, you know? So for me, they are really cheap. So you're going to have to take your shots. For me, my shot is probably Pittman. Honestly, for DK, if he's wide receiver 42, I'll take a shot at both. Like, why do I really care? Find whichever one you can trade. You should be able to get one of them, if not both, for what? Like, if you think you have a late second, maybe you can get that. Would you send a late second for either of these guys?
If it was going to be for one, I'd probably feel the most confident for this year with Pittman, just because of where he works on the field. I think that better suits the QB that they have.
Okay.
And he's a friendly option for if they draft a young guy next year, or if they bring in like a Mac Jones. He's going to be over the middle of the field. He's going to be better for PPR, and you're hoping that DK can score touchdowns again. And I would rather
Yeah.
bet on the PPR value of Pittman. Um, DK is still just a freak athlete. It doesn't make sense why it's not going well, and they just paid him a massive contract. So both of those guys are there for probably the next 2 years.
Yeah. So, all right. What do you think about the Titans?
This is the last one for the wide receivers, and it's a weird one because there's a bunch of guys there that are gonna be involved. I think everyone would prefer Tate at the very top. Wide receiver 16 on sleeper. He's wide receiver 11 on keep trade cut. You should have Wandale at wide receiver 37 on sleeper, 40 on keep trade cut. Next up would be DK, 71 on sleeper, 88 on keep trade cut, left for dead. And then Io Manor is in the same boat, 75 on sleeper, 81 on keep trade cut. And then Calvin Ridley still on the team. He is 117 on sleeper, which is fucking crazy. And then keep trade cut, he's at 106. So all five of these guys are going to be involved. The value is going to be Wandale just because he's going to be on the field all the time. He's someone that is a PPR machine. Tate is going to be more of the downfield guy. He's going to be more expensive just because he was what 4 overall this past year. This year. And Cam Ward is someone that I feel could take a pretty big step this year with 2 new pass catchers, 2 of their best, um, and then still having depth behind them. So if someone does get hurt, you still have DK who had his moments, and same with Manor. Calvin, really, I don't know where he slots in. If he's the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. If it was up to me, it would be the 5. Just don't worry about it. I would rather have the other 4. But I think the pick for value is going to be Wandale, but the upside is obviously Tate.
I agree. At the receivers, it's probably Wandale is the value. But could I pitch and sell you on the true value to this team as Gunnar Helm?
Yes, that's someone that I'm interested in. That's super cheap. Super cheap.
Yeah. So you had takes that, I haven't made yet, but I love that you have, and I couldn't buy into. Here, I think Tate is the true alpha. I don't know if he gets the targets year one. Wandale, we saw, had the same number of 140 targets back-to-back years, 141, whatever it was, back-to-back years. I think he's a value. And I think Helm is probably the third option on this team. And so if Helm's the third option, the real question is he the third option? Is he the second option? With Tate being a rookie, usually rookies take a little longer before they become the, 8 to 9 target a game guys. So is Helm the guy we should be looking at? And the more I look at this, the idea that Ridley's dead, DK and Manor are great, fun names, but didn't really quite hit. It's really those 3 that I think I'm interested in.
Yeah. Where's Gunnar Helm? Keep trade cut. He's not on the list for tight ends because there's no one else there really. He is tight end 21 behind Barner. I mean, he's in a solid spot on keep trade cut. Like you have Dallas Goedert, that's behind him. Terrence Ferguson's behind him. You have Barner in front of him. Mark Andrews, Chig, and Hawkinson in front of him. So like he's in a spot where people are expecting him to do something.
Okay. What number is he in keep trade cut?
He is 21.
Wow. Okay. Anyway, my feeling is it's a 3-man show and Helm's one of them. Is that where you're at, or are you just
Yes.
not
And
sure?
Wandale, I hope he has a great season, but I just hope he has less catches than Dobbs this year. So, which now they both have a wide receiver 1 in front of them: AJ Brown to Dobbs and Tate to Wandale. So that'll be interesting. Because
And what was our bet? Was it? I mean, you have it written. Was it targets or catches? I think it was targets. Right?
It was targets. Yeah, you're right. It's targets.
Was it catches?
Well, no, it was targets.
Good.
All right, let's go on to tight ends. How about you try to figure out these Rams? Rams tight ends.
Rams tight ends. I guess we'll start with who looks like the guy that just got the new contract this offseason, which is Tyler Higbee. Sleeper 40, keep trade cut 54. Parkinson, who had the best finish of the year that nobody wants. Sleeper 36, keep trade cut 40. Terrence Ferguson, sleeper 23, keep trade cut 22. He was the rookie last year and then the rookie this year. Max Clare, sleeper 38, keep trade cut 30.
Good luck.
The more I'm looking at this, I kind of like Ferguson. I kind of like Higbee. The one I'm liking more and more because he's free is Parkinson. Because I can't forget the last 5 weeks of last year where he was like, a top 6 tight end? I mean, he helped win me leagues and get me some money. You know, I, I'll never forget, what was it, like a 43-yard touchdown from Matthew Stafford late, where he kind of ran like I don't know, it was kind of like a wheel route or something in the corner in the end zone over there. Um, like I think it was like a wheel route instead of just like an out and up. Um, but anyway, Parkinson probably the guy the most value. No one wants Higbee. The real question is, does Higbee even start right now? Do you think Higbee's the starter?
I have no idea. And these guys are all over the place. There's also a fifth tight end that they have that I didn't even
Davis
put up
Allen?
here. Davis Allen is tight end 66 on Keep Trade Cut. So he's behind all these guys, but they have 5 tight ends. Good luck trying to pick one to start every week. If you have all 5 in best ball, you've got a tight end 1 every week. So
Hey, in the Best Ball League 35, you might have a chance at drafting all 5 of these.
yeah, yep, that
So,
would be disgusting, but
oh god,
it'll work.
that on it.
It'll work. All right,
It'll work.
I'll go to the Giants. You have Isaiah Likely on sleeper at 15, keep trade cut at 12, and then Theo Johnson at 26, keep trade cut 35. Um, I I th- I do think that there's a possibility that this is an even more of a split than people like. Even though people like Isaiah Likely, I am one of those people. I don't think Theo is really a good tight end. He's athletic, but as far as playing football, it just didn't look right this past year. And you're also not going to have neighbors to start the year. They have Odell Beckham and Juju and the Malachi Fields. So like their wide receiver core is not inspiring to start the season until they get back neighbors. So a lot could run through Scattaboo and the tight ends and Dart. And I wouldn't be shocked if both of these guys have weeks where they are guys that you could have started. I think more people are going to lean towards Isaiah Likely. Um, he's coming over with John Harbaugh, someone that John Harbaugh has talked a lot about, and that he likes. So if I was taking one, I would still go Likely. He's not that expensive. He's tight end 15 on sleeper, tight end 12 on keep trade cut. I just don't see the upside with Theo now that they also have Likely. Yes, he's there and he's very talented, but more talented on the athletic side of things.
Yeah, I think Likely's the high upside. He's got the value. I think people like the idea of him, the theory of him. They've liked him for 3 to 4 years.
Same.
Your hot take that Theo could split time or take more away, especially early on, I think you nailed it, Gus. Especially if the golden boy is out 4 to 6 weeks, and of course I'm talking about neighbors. Could Theo be 2 tight ends in a lot of 2 tight end sets and is playing 70% of snaps early on? And I think the answer is yes. So I'm still unlikely. I think it's a great value. I haven't thought that way of Theo, so I don't have many shares, but you could be dead right on that one.
I know. It's fine.
I know, I'm
All
awesome.
right.
Thanks for letting me
All
know.
right.
That's
All
a
right.
great
How
idea.
about you go to the Eagles?
Eagles. Okay, so moving on the Eagles, we got Dallas Goddard at sleeper 21, keep trade cut 23, Stowers sleeper 16, keep trade cut 11. Um,
It's pricey.
if you're competing this year, it's Goddard, and if you are even questioning it or wanting to compete 27 on, it's Stowers, and I think Stowers' upside could be crazy high. It's a very similar question to what we asked about a few times ago, which is where do you have Makai Lemon? And Smith, because is Goddard the end zone threat as he was? And his Stowers turn into something as kind of a middle of the field, rangy guy. I, planting a flag or whatever, I like Stowers more. I just think the athleticism's there. The idea that anytime Vanderbilt this year was in trouble, they went to Stowers. It's just, if you're going for the now, Goddard has 10 touchdown upside. It's like, it's ridiculous. And do I believe it's going to happen again? I do not. Is he too old to do it multiple years? Yes. But even right now, he could be a good steal in the, you know, where you're getting him.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if Stowers is on the field more than people think, even to start the year, because the Eagles have always used multiple tight ends, not very effectively. They have had their games, what is it, Calcaterra? Like he's had games. So like I think Stowers is a much better tight end than him. So I do think he's going to be on the field more than people think. To start the year, that offense is going to really flow through Saquon. Probably 2 wide receiver sets. They might go to 3 every now and then and bring in Wicks, but it's going to be, your best 5 players are going to be the 2 receivers, the 2 tight ends, and then Saquon. So I would assume that that's going to be most of what they do.
It's a good theory.
Yeah. All right. I'll go to the Seahawks. You have Barner and Arroyo. I know you are a huge fan of Barner. Barner is at tight end 19 on Sleeper, Keep Trade Cut 20. Arroyo on Sleeper is 34. He's buried on Keep Trade Cut. It's 25. Barner really stepped up this past year. He was the one that was the favorite tight end. Everyone had high hopes for Arroyo, and it still could happen. If you're just going based off of value, I think it's still Barner because he's super cheap. He's someone that's going to be on the field all the time. He's very involved in the passing game, and to get him as a tight end 20, that's your tight end, hopefully 2, 3, 4-ish range, depending on how you draft. And then Arroyo is just a bet on the future, hopefully that he can do something.
I'm all on him, Barner. He showed it
I know.
last year, and it's not like he's old. That was the biggest thing.
No,
Is Barner is still young. That was his second year in the league.
he's 24.
Yeah, it's not like he was an older guy that just showed up. Like, he was young, second year player in the league, and showed that he could be the second option. They brought Rashid Shaheed, and Rashid Shaheed's not a target threat. Like, he will get some deep passes and a couple of gimmicky plays, but he's not the guy that's every week going to get 8 targets. And so with that, I think Barner might be the second option on that offense in the passing game. Where are you, Gus? Because that's what I like, is I think Barner is the second option. Where are you?
He's either the second or third because they still have Shaheed. Shaheed is not going to see as much volume, I don't think, as Barner, and Shaheed is not going to work in the same area of the field. Like Shaheed's going to be deep threat for the most part, maybe a crosser here and there. Barner really works the middle of the field, and he's a weapon in the red zone. I think that he's going to be the second most valuable player on this offense as far as the pass catchers. What's crazy is, like, if you look at Stowers, if Stowers comes out and has a year that Barner had this past year, Stowers would be a top 6 tight end. Like, if he came out, and I don't know about the top 6, probably top 8 tight end. But
I get it. Yeah.
But Barner, I don't think he was a late draft pick. I think he was third, fourth round pick. Like, I don't think he was super late.
Yeah.
So for him to come out and have the season that he did, and he's still around tight end 20, I think is wild. Like, he's a value for what he can do for your team. I wouldn't hope that he could be your tight end 1, but at least your tight end 2 or 3. So,
Yep. No, I like it. Agreed. Arroyo, you got to see something or an injury, etc. But right now, he's just a reserve pick.
Colin, you look fucking tired, dude. It looks like you're about to fall asleep.
Dude, I am dead tired. Been a long day, and this episode's been going on, but that's why I'm pushing
Just
through because we only got
for
2 left.
for the people that don't know, we start recording around 8 o'clock on Tuesdays. It's currently 11:37, so it's pushing midnight. I've got to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Colin, I'm sure, gets up like around 11 or 12 whenever his
Yeah,
old ass gets
because
up
it's
and
my college
has
days,
coffee.
that's what
Yeah,
happens. Life's rough. But no,
yeah,
I
but
look tired and I feel tired, but we got 2 more groups left. I'm pushing through. The last one, this next one shouldn't take too long, and that is actually the next 2. We'll talk about the Chargers, talking about Rodley, Gadsden, sleeper 9, keep trade cut 10, and then Njoku. I'm amazed we have him. I have him in a lot of leagues competing the last year, but he's sleeper 30, keep trade cut 26. They brought him in to use him. I still think Gadsden's the talent they like. And I also just think they want the opportunity to use multiple personnels and settings. I think Gadsden is probably the guy you want. You definitely want him long term, but he's probably the guy you want even this year. Where Njoku is really, I think they're trying to use 2 tight end sets a little more, get some more beef on the field. The only reason it doesn't really work is Gadsden isn't really a blocker. He's just not. So maybe Njoku plays more than we think, and Gadsden sits a little more. But for the long term, you want Gadsden. I do think Njoku going here is interesting because it means maybe they promised him or gave an idea that they want to use him more and he can get some touchdowns and targets. So I think he's a pretty good value late, but if you want the player for the future, it's Gadsden. I just don't know if I'm willing to spend those tight end tight end sleeper 9 or keep trade cut 10. I don't know if that's where I'm willing to go right now with all the other players that we just talked about. Like, would I rather
give me
Gadsden?
Barner.
Well, and there you go. Like Gadsden or Stowers, who's another one, but we talked about Likely, who's after him. Barner's right is a good bit after him. We talked about Chigo Okonkwo being after him. I don't know if these guys should be going after him. I'm really not sure. And we're about to get into the next one, which is right around him as well. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts quickly, and then start talking about the Jets?
Yeah, I put this one up here because I really do think that there's a chance that Njoku ends up being the starter, and that
Okay.
would shock a lot of people and it would piss off
Yeah.
a lot of people that invested a lot into Gadsden. Yes, Gadsden is the better downfield pass catcher, but this offense I don't think wants to use a tight end in that role. They want to use 2 tight ends for blocking, or the fullback that they also brought over. So I think there's going to be a lot of times where Gadsden's not really the first or second or third option on a play. And I think there's a real shot that Njoku, who is basically free, is gonna be a tight end 1 for one of the top teams in the league this year. So I mean, he's free. It doesn't cost you much. So
Yeah, he's free is the right answer.
Compared to round 7, 8 for Gadsden, which had a 4-game stretch. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, I'll get into the Jets. Kenyon Sadiq is tight end 10 on sleeper and tight end 9 on keep trade cut. Mason Taylor is tight end 17 on sleeper. Keep trade cut is 28. The keep trade cut crowd has left him for dead. But I do think that they're going to be in a lot of 2 tight end sets. Like, we are going to be talking about 2-3 tight end sets for quite some time. Like, this is the way that the league is going to. They want to use more tight ends. It's going to shift back and forth. Once defenses start to tailor more to nickel and dime sets, then offense goes, okay, well, I'll just add in more tight ends, and they'll just keep going back and forth till the end of time until it's then flag football. But so Taylor is going to be on the field. I don't think he's going to take a lot away from Sadiq, but they are both going to be on the field quite often. They used Jeremy Ruckert a lot last year too, not as a passing option, but just on the field as a blocker. Um, I don't want any of Taylor. If I was going to bet on a tight end in this offense, it would be Sadiq, and he's pretty expensive. I would honestly, at cost, I would rather go get Stowers at 16 on sleeper than Sadiq at 10, just because I liked Stowers' film just a little bit more. But Sadiq does have the higher upside just based off of pure talent. So
I, one of the biggest things that to me, I'm a little surprised you put this on there. I think Taylor is dead. He was not a blocker anyway. He's not a blocker. So if he's not a blocker and Sadiq is the what do you go 15th overall pick, freak athleticism, like yes, in tight end 2 sets he might be on the field, but if he's not a blocker and he's not necessarily a freak athlete, what are you getting? So yeah, I like Sadiq here, but I'm still it's what I've been doing, and I'm still liking the idea of like letting Stowers and Gadsden and Sadiq go at this range and just waiting 2 or 3 more rounds and taking the Barners, the Helms a little bit, the Likely, who goes a little higher usually, the Likely, the
shit.
Chig, these stack of groups. If you need the tight end or want a second one, go get that guy and let these guys fall. If you're going into it purely thinking I'm trying to tank and be a rebuilder, I understand the idea of going to get Gadsden and Stowers and Sadiq. But if you want any production this year to compete, I would take all those other guys I said above them.
Yeah. All right, that was the last one. We were going to do trades on this one, and then I made this list and went, "Oh fuck, this is going to be way too long."
Yep.
So next week it'll be me, Colin, and Miles will be on. We are doing nothing but going over trades. So we're gonna pull a bunch of trades from all of the leagues that we're all in, and we're just gonna talk trades for the whole episode. Um, I gotta close this out on some dead advice. I'm pretty sure you did it this past week. So,
I did this last one.
um,
Yep.
yeah, I kind of talked about it at the very top. I'm switching jobs. I'm going into a position where I'm going to be doing a lot more work. I'm going to be away from home more. I'll still be home every day, but I'll be out more. And kind of like as a dad, there are some sacrifices that you have to make for your family, for your kids, and part of that is doing what you have to do to put food on the table and pay bills, and and be the dad that you need to be for your family. And sometimes that comes down to you're going to have to spend some more time away from home, and that's something that I'm going to do and not blink. I'm just going to do it. So,
Sometimes you got to do it for the family, and the best you can do for the kids, especially, is showing them the love the limited amount of time you have,
yeah,
and then enjoying the weekends when you can.
yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
We have two startups that are going right now. Dad's 34 and 35. Once those are done, I'll be firing up two more. So if you want to get into those startups, you can either send me a DM on Sleeper at Dynasty Dads. You can send me a message on YouTube or Spotify, or join the Discord from the website, dynastydads.com. There's a link on there to the Discord. That's where I first post the startup links. So the people in there get for first come, first serve. And then from there, I go out into other areas to find people. But if you want to get into a league, that's the best way to do it. Colin, do you got
Yeah,
anything else?
that's it. One thing I think people might not understand. My sleeper handle is Big C 245.
Yep.
I want to put that out there because some people are like, oh wait, he's in the league. That I saw that on another discussion. I think we were doing the 33 review. It's like, yeah, this is me. This good looking fella that kicks your ass. So thank you.
The guy that trades the whole draft instead of picking. So that guy.
Yep.
All
Sounds
right,
good. Well,
man.
thanks, Gus.
I'll
Long
see
up
you next week.
episode. Yep. I'll see you next week, bud.
All right, man. Bye.